Ahoy, land lovers! It's me, your Captain Vasco speaking. Harold Halibut. It's time for more of it. It's Friday. We've been playing this game on Fridays. Calling it a game, maybe a little generous. I don't really know what Harold Halibut is after 2 weeks. Although, granted, last week we probably spent about half of that stream just talking. It was a weird one. Speaking of weird ones, I think it's gonna be a weird one today. Let's date this one. Feel like I've been remembering to do that lately. It's Friday, May 24th, 2024. We got some cool stuff on the couch. We have this watermelon octopus who showed up last week. Maybe a couple other friends who are new. I'm excited for that later, but for now we got Harold Halibut. So what's the deal with Harold Halibut? I mean, so the first week we learned that there's some weird conspiracy, like Harold Halibut is like the least interesting man in the universe or like the known galaxy. He he's basically like a janitor for this spaceship called the Fedora 2 that like attempted to leave Earth after it became uninhabitable and then like crash landed on some oceanic planet and for whatever reason was just like fine to exist there indefinitely. There's a lot of implications to that which feel like nonsense to me. Among them, at some point during last week's stream, someone said that we live in like a post-scarcity society, which makes no sense because we crash landed on an alien planet with limited resources and have been here for like decades. Like we are in an absolute scarcity society. If nothing else, there's like a finite amount of space on this pre-constructed spaceship for people to live and create weird capitalist-style businesses, which also suggest not post scarcity. But so generally, like, you know, we crash landed on this alien planet. We went on like that for some time. Harold Halibut got a job as he's supposed to be like a laboratory assistant for a scientist who has I'm not really sure what her function is. I mean, in the story, she like determined that like by looking at some space rocks, she could figure out when there was like a window to try and get through the planet's like hostile atmosphere and like constant storm patterns to escape. And when we did that, she was like, "Oh man, there's only like 90 days to get this ship going." And we're like, "All right, only 90 days." I mean, that actually seems like a decent runway to get everything going, but okay, only 90 days. And then last week I think 3 days passed and we didn't even like tell anyone that we like learned that. Like we haven't even started the process of trying to get the ship to leave. But there's some weird conspiracy we learned about where like there's literally a corporation on this ship. We're so not post scarcity. I feel like whoever said that needs to be fired from whatever their job is. I'm just super mad about it inexplicably. So like we learned that like this guy who runs like an air conditioning business on this sunken spaceship wanted to like use air conditioning to like make a big block of ice underwater to like float the ship to the surface as a means of launching it. I mean, we have engines. I don't really know why we need all that. But I guess it sounds cool. I don't know. But like other than that, which has really been on the back burner for like at least half of our journey thus far, despite being of seemingly critical importance, we found a fish man. We found fish mail. We went to like the filter room, which is just like a spooky plot device room that glows a funny color. And yeah, like last week, like pretty much at the start of the stream, we went down there, we found a fish guy who definitely looks like an iridescent giraffe. I don't know why everyone assumes it's a fish. I'm very confused about it. And we had like a whole like Tetris delusion that was never explained and I don't think ever will be. And we cleared out some space to like rig up like an IV bag for the fish man. And we spent like multiple days in a row like vaguely making an effort to provide him with one type of medicine, him not improving at all, or eating food or doing anything that would sustain life for him, and then like just repeating, just like getting more medicine, like watching no change happen, meandering around the space station, going to bed. I don't know what this game is about. Like, there are plot threads. None of them seem to connect to anything or indicate anything. But there will be more of it in a moment. I see a few folks joined us during the rant. Hello to my mom, J.O. Platts. Hello, Castle. Hello to Demolition Cotillion. Hold on. Damn. Where was the joke? Oh, there it is. Not sure I care for this game, but I'm here for the halibut. Very good. Very good. Have one of these. Oh, also, there's like, I mean, there's so little going on that, like, even the side plots don't amount to anything. We had, like, a couple last week. One where we found out that there's, like dodecaseptuplets or something on the, there's like 27 identical dudes and we only care about like 4 of them, and like 3 of them work for that shady corporation and one of them sells wieners in like the promenade. So I had to like reset up this button that I don't need for any other purpose because I just didn't have it last week and I felt like I needed it.
I was talking about wieners.
So I have that going for me now. And then there's like a whole thing where like the captain of the ship wanted to be our friend, but that really just amounted to him like verbally vomiting his midlife crisis on us and then being like, thanks for solving my problem. And then I don't think that will ever matter again. Ocean says, does that guy not know that the energy to make the ice would boil most of the water in the area anyway? I strongly get the impression that either the people who wrote this game or the character are meant not to have thought it through. Not sure which. Let's halibut. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have both a lot to say and nothing to say about Harold Halibut. Stay 18,255. We have 87 days to take off from this planet. And I don't know if the goal would be to go back to Earth. I'm like super unclear about that. At one point, there was like a plot point where they were like, we're so excited to launch this buoy to like receive a message for the first time in like 5 decades or something. And they did. And it was like, hey, sup, outer space. This be Earth. I know you thought we was dead, but we cool. Hit us up sometime if you don't want to be sunken on a weird alien ocean planet. Here's all those boxes from that Tetris game that I think I'll have nightmares about forever. I assume we'll be told what to do. I know I got a couple of objectives, and one of them was make sure that the fish guy's like probably still dead. He has yet to be alive. No change.
No change.
That's what I said.
I'm no expert, but I think they'd have kicked in by now. Like when I got so sick after secretly eating that filter fish.
Why did you do that?
Those were bad times.
Why did you do that?
Never been able to look at fish the same way again.
You're doing it right now.
Must be something else we can try. Should I ask Moreau? No, she's too busy. Sunny?
How? Hang
Oh,
on.
Fishy, can't you just get better right now so I don't have to go see her again? I mean, I will. For you.
Yeah, I think that this is a Shape of Water situation. Harold Halibut is incompatible with the companionship of humanity and thus has projected, like, infinite undying love on... Like, this thing is supposed to be a fish. And I know we talked a little bit about it last week, but, like... Could we pick, like, a weirder, less fishy design? I mean, I think I generally get it, but, like, man, super weird. Also, good news, the medicine is biocompatible with him and not a poison. I mean, we don't know that because he's been effectively dead for like 3 days. Like, it's just... There's something that's really hard for me to articulate. Like, it bothers me, like, on a pretty surface level that he's like, oh, geez, this fish that, like, I really care about, whether for romantic reasons or for, like, scientific curiosity, is irrelevant, but, like, one or maybe both. He's like, oh, it's not getting any better. Should I maybe ask my boss, the scientist, who, like, also really cared about this for definitely platonic scientific reasons? Nah, I don't think this is important enough to bother her with. This is, like, first of its kind humanoid fish creature. Like, that doesn't seem important enough to bother her to be like, hey, you tasked me, the least competent man on this spaceship, with keeping this thing alive, and I have no way of knowing if that's true. I feel like I'm hearing a weird noise in this room that isn't normally here. Special medication. Fishy is still not better. Maybe I can ask Sunny at the pharmacy if she knows some kind of special medication. I mean, that's literally what we did yesterday. But, like, again, it seems weird to just, like, presume that the medicine that we understand, whether for humans or for fish, will make this creature that we've never seen before better. Oh, and of course we can, like, go to the post office and snoop on some unclaimed letters. There was a lot of weird bureaucracy last week. At some point we might find a dodo, unclear. But, like, so, we've talked for sure about the pacing of this game, which I would say, like, increasingly feels bad. But, like, I feel like you kind of should just automatically have a sense that, like, you should tighten up your script when, like, 3 consecutive in-game days have the same loop with no change. Like, sometimes, like, a slow-paced, like, horror game, especially if it's, like, a time loop thing, will have days sort of function like that, but, like, normally there's still, like, some amount of, like, building tension. In this case, like, we just sort of keep waking up, like, fish still dead, let me check the pharmacy. And then we, like, get some nondescript item from them, and we, like, have, like, one other conversation, and we come back here, and then, like, give medicine to the fish, and it's still dead. And it just keeps happening, and, like, we're not learning about the conspiracy, we're not trying to prepare to launch the shit, like, nothing is happening. Now I have to go to the utility district? So I have to go to Central, I think?
Water compliments you on your choice of destination.
How's everyone's Friday? It's a holiday weekend here in the US. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do as little as I can manage as a treat. There's, like, almost always one or more people sleeping in Central Station. Should we be concerned about that? I mean, we've also talked about the fact that this world presents essentially like a mandatory public transportation system that is not, like, subsidized by the ship's government. So, like, it is entirely possible to run out of money and be arrested. So, again, not like a post-scarcity society, in my estimation.
Number 8. Hello.
How can I be of assistance?
It's so weird that they'll let me keep talking to him and it doesn't actually create any new possibility. I'm trying to clear, like, I have a thing about, like, talking to all the clone guys. He's one of them. The 27 uplets. And it's just not getting crossed off my to-do list. And I feel like I probably missed some, like, arbitrary flag or something. Utility district.
Travel in style with all water.
It's kind of interesting that the utility district literally has a symbol that's like pill and letter icon. Like all
Unsatisfactory journey for some reason. Just contact your nearest and all water will make it up to you.
It's just like, it's not utilities in, like, the strict sense that I think of it, of being like,
Harold, what do you say to reading another letter with me? Come on in. The door's open.
Does Sunny not overhear this and think it's sketchy? I mean, she did seemingly date Harold at some point, so her judgment must be awful. But to close that point off, like, you know, it's not utilities in terms of, like, water, electricity, etc., as they're often defined, at least here in the United States. I get that Postal Service is sort of along those lines, but, like, no, pharmacy just seems like a weird thing to include, and it's literally the second, and it's like 2 of 2 on the list of utilities as far as the ship is concerned. I just will invade some privacy while we're at it. Welcome to Popa Post. So this guy doesn't make rounds as a post officer anymore, does he? That's the correct term, right? God, it's so weirdly
Yo, Viv.
familiar.
It's been like a month since we last rode. What's the haps? Maybe you forgot your state of mind now. Sorry I took a while. But you probably didn't. You seemed the same as always, and being you, begrudge every minute of it. Don't. Learn to say F you to the world once in a while. You have every right. Just stop thinking so much. Thinking, worrying, wondering,
Why does it keep
doubting,
changing the zoom?
fearing, hearing, hurting. Struggling, lazing, confusing, itching, bumbling, rambling, gambling, hitting, hating,
What is
and
what
purging,
is this?
besmirching. Overthinking and overanalyzing and overguessing separates the body from the mind, and you need them to be one and the same to really produce work that hits people in both. Do.
Why do we zoom?
Your work is
We zoom
great,
and
man.
scroll? What's...
You wrote drawing clean, clear, but crazy-looking machines. Real nonsense stuff. Nonsense stuff is the best. More nonsense, more crazy, more machines, more clean, more clear. Double down on your you-ness and let you out on your page.
Oh god, there's more.
Just don't worry about it. If you want to take a month to write me back, that's fair enough. Tell me what you think of that poem I read you. Oh, and before I forget, Rook takes e5. Rook captures the piece on e5. Your move. Doingly yours, Saul. Oh boy, so much wisdom. Those two must have been artists.
I suppose so. I just feel bad for their chess match.
You got anyone like that in your life, Harold? A friend you can yell at, encourage, really speak your mind to?
I have a dead fish. Does that count?
Come on now. You don't have to name names.
Maybe kinda? I don't know if they'd consider me a friend in the same way.
They don't speak a
takes
common
two to
language
tango.
with me and they're dead.
Sure, but what if one of you can't dance?
Can't dance? Or won't dance?
I'm not sure
It's
what
more
this
that-
metaphor is
well,
anymore.
I feel responsible for them. And they don't talk about their feelings much.
Being a
But I still
corpse
feel
of a
like
fish.
we really know each other somehow. Is that wrong?
Way I see it, you can't worry too much about what other people think. You can never know for sure. So, just be the best friend you can. Kinda like Sol said in the letter.
Don't take the advice of this rambling
suppose you're right.
lunatic's letter.
Thanks, buddy. What about you?
Oh, not anymore, but that's okay. Everyone on the station is my friend in a way.
I'm not.
Yes. Everyone loves you, buddy.
Oh, thanks, Harold. Think it's time for me to recharge my batteries. But you should come back tomorrow if you want.
Okay, sure. Rest up. I'll see you soon.
I mean, that seems weird in the sense that that took us just like a few minutes. But on the other hand, I'll give him some slack on this one because reading that letter also made me feel tired. I mean, it started with like, maybe you forgot your state of mind. I'm like, I don't know what that means. And then it proceeded to delve into like quote unquote poetry that really just sounded like someone like having an existential crisis. Why is this the thing we can do? If I had to guess, Demolition, I would say that the purpose of the reading other people's mail was to provide these, like, little, almost like Mr. Rogers-esque asides, where he's sort of like, Ah, Harold, like, tell me more about yourself by, like, looking at your life through the context of whatever was written in this letter. And it's, like, supposed to be character development, but it's, like, so unbelievably unnatural. And, like, the setup is, like, so weird that we're, like, kind of doing a crime? I don't know. Like most things that we've encountered in Harold Halibut, it's like, there's, like, an idea to it, but we neither, like, thought it all the way through, nor did we, like, playtest to make sure that this seemed like an enjoyable experience necessarily.
Hello again.
Hey, Sonny. Listen, those...
Still struggling with your secret life form and or bizarre personal health issue?
Yeah, a bit.
I'm jonesing for a fix.
You know, Harold, there's no shame in admitting you need help. I mean, sometimes it's a spiritual illness.
Sonny, I'm sorry, I can't tell you. But it's urgent.
Didn't the antibiotics work?
They didn't seem to. Nothing works like it should with this.
Well,
maybe because it's an alien fishman corpse.
But there's one other thing we could try.
Shock
Does
therapy?
your pet have antimicrobial proteins? Any autoimmune disorders? Or any
Do you
kind
think
of
I know what any of that
compromised
means?
transfer
I'm Harold
methods?
Halibut.
It's hard to say.
Harold, think. I can prescribe this floxafin, but it'll only work on a totally non-compromised immune system.
I get it, but I want to try. It might help.
Okay, are you sure you're sure? I mean, I also have isogerm, which is similar, but it's really dangerous to use on anything with high histamine levels. Just take a minute to think carefully. I'd hate for anything to go wrong.
I'm sorry, am I supposed to know what the correct... Is this a failable choice? Is this irrelevant? Are we doing that Pokemon thing I hate of, like, you'll come with me, won't you? Yeah, or cool. It says 50-50, end the game 3 sessions from now because of this choice. I can think of exactly one game that, like, fits that description. I'm still a little salty about it. Do you remember... what was that game called? The one with, like, the melty wax faces. The Council? It was like a Telltale style, story, like, narrative game. And it had, like, RPG mechanics, which were really interesting. Like, there were a lot of things I thought were really cool about that game, and it kind of broke down over time, like a lot of the actual Telltale games did. But, like, there was a thing where, like, literally in episode, like, 3 of 5, you, like, learned that there were, like, 2 twins, and, like, one of them, like... There's, like, some situation where you have to, like, choose to kill one of them, and if you, like, kill the wrong one... then, like, you're automatically locked into a bad ending, even though there's, like, 2 entire chapters left or something. It's, like, one of the weirdest things I can think of in, like, an episodic narrative game, which, granted, there aren't that many of, but, like, that really stuck with me. Like, what a weird way to handle that. She did spell deals wrong. She also spelled your wrong? I think that's what that says, get your meds? Maybe it says get WR meds. It's actually a little unclear. I don't know, man. Floxafin sounds cooler. Don't take Floxafin if you're allergic to Floxafin. May cause headaches, hives, vomiting, sassiness, or death. I mean, I think... yeah, I mean, one of the side effects is definitely, like, become an unconscious fishman or something. I'm inclined to take Floxafin for, like, none reason at all.
Let's go with the Floxafin. I'm sure it'll help.
Okay, Harold. Here you go. Let me know how it all goes.
Will do. Thanks again, Sonny.
I have... Is this literally the only thing I have to do? Is this my whole day? I can't stress enough that in the first session that we played of this game, there's like a moment after like a bunch of like tedium where we like find a space rock and our boss, the professor or whatever, like looks at it under a microscope and is like, Eureka! I can tell you with absolute certainty that within 90 days we can get the heck off this stupid planet that sucks. But it's just not enough time. We'll have to hurry. And like several days have passed. And we haven't done anything. And like, I think this day might literally end after we give medicine to the fish and probably nothing will happen again. Want to know what each does? Are there different effects? It's unbelievable. Tell me once we see how badly this choice has gone. Because I don't... Even if I could go back, I doubt that I will unless I absolutely have to.
Destination chosen. We hope you enjoy your all-water tube system.
So, like, everyone goes around just, like, slightly damp from this tube system, like, all the time, right?
Have you checked your pockets before leaving?
Just wanted to remind you I have this zoom button. Dude, there's even a guy sleeping leaning up against the wall. What is this place?
Destination decided. Enjoy the view.
Frankly, there's probably some, like, side quests I could discover by checking the whole station. It doesn't particularly feel worthwhile.
You have arrived.
I'm not gonna, like... We haven't reached the point where I'm trying to, like, avoid optional content. But as we've sort of discussed, like, a decent number of it seems to be just, like, waiting for tedious things to happen. Oh, for, like, example... I think we determined that, like, if you watch this, like, Turkish soap opera for, like, a really long time, you get an achievement. How long was it? 15 minutes? That's so many minutes. I don't know if that's actual Turkish. It's an interesting question, Demolition. If one of those breaks, how do they fix it? You can't use it to get to it. I mean, you know, it's sort of implied in, like, Star Trek ship structure that you have Jeffries tubes, which are sort of like catwalks to get to the areas that you can't access when other stuff breaks down. But here, the tube system is the fail part, and as far as we've ever seen, there's, like, nothing else that functions. Like, there's just no other way to do anything. At least you can understand it and are therefore entertained for 15 minutes. Are you accusing me of understanding Turkish?
Professor?
Ah, Harold, just in time.
Are
Hold
we?
this, would you?
Sure, but... Oh, what is that?
It's just a swab. Samples are important.
Important to us or them?
One and the same.
We didn't hold that at all. Why did she prompt us to do it?
But the more we know, the better.
So what will that fishy swab tell us?
If he has an STD, I think.
Could shed light on our own human physiology, advance philosophy, tell us how alien life
I don't
came
think
to
it's
be.
going to advance philosophy.
Okay.
I don't want to burst your
That does
bubble or
sound
nothing.
kinda cool. I just hope it tells us how they're feeling, too.
Knowledge is power, Harold. Keep an eye on them. I'll be back soon.
Roger. Hey, Fishy. Moreau is a bit obsessed, but I'm sure she won't forget about making you better. And I'll be helping.
But she definitely
All
did.
the good that will do.
She has not attempted to help in like
Hang in
2
there,
full
buddy.
days. But like, can we have a
Okay,
serious
let's see if these
conversation
help.
about what she just
The
did?
things I do for you, Mr.
Because it was
Fishy.
really baffling.
Well, Sunny was confusing as ever.
Oh my god.
Do I miss her? No, not really, but, you know, we had some good times.
What's confusing? You were like, I need medicine.
taught
She's
me a
like,
few
I don't
things.
want you to kill anything. And then you
Oh,
picked the name. What was confusing
life and
about it?
stuff, I guess, and what culture is. Do you have someone special? Do your kind even have special people? I wonder if you all look the same, or feel emotions. I wonder what it'd be like to not feel emotions.
Harold!
Huh? Oh, Professor. Oh, beeping. Professor,
What are their vitals?
very squiggly.
It's a
What's happened
fish.
here?
Our
Speak
vital
clearly
reading
now.
machine probably isn't going to function correctly.
I'm sorry. The antibiotics weren't working, so I went to see Sunny, and she asked me a bunch of weird questions, and then gave me something else to try on him, and
What did she give you?
it was... I think she said it was called Fluxogerm?
Nope.
Did she mention antimicrobial proteins or histamine levels?
Yes, both of those.
things.
Okay, well, there's no such thing as Fluxogerm, but I think I know what we're dealing with.
It was Floxa, or germ, something.
Oh, Harold, move. It's going to be okay. Just let me... Okay, they're going into anaphylactic shock. Harold, there should be some adrenaline on the shelf. Hand it to me quickly.
Why would we assume this would work? Really thought he was
Okay.
going to stab her hand with
This
the
should
needle.
stabilize them.
Professor, Fishy, I'm so sorry.
Harold, I know you were just trying to help, but Fishy isn't a duct or a filter you can
Hey,
just
lady,
whack
you could have
around
taken
until it
charge of
works
this if
again.
you wanted to.
I know.
Look, you told me enough information for us to save them. No harm done, it seems. Fishy is stabilizing.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank you, Professor.
There's no point in beating yourself up, Harold. You live and learn. Go and settle your nerves.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try.
Okay, just multiple objections I want to just get through real quick. For one, so at the start of the scene, we come into the room with the Dr. Moreau's standing there, and she's got like a Q-tip, and she's like, "Hey, Harold, hold this," and he like smells it and goes, "Ugh, it's terrible," and then she just like puts it in her pocket like it's nuts. She doesn't put it in like a CSI sample bag or nothing, and like she sure didn't need us to hold it. So what was any of that about? Was that basically like a prank? She's like, "Hey, smell this like fish essence, lol, idiot." Secondly, like super weird of her to be like mad about Harold trying to like save the fish creature when she tasked him with doing it and then contributed nothing herself. Yeah, I mean, I definitely got that Floxogerm is a portmanteau of Floxafin, and the other one was, yeah, Isogerm, right? Yeah. The difference is nothing. It's false choice. Yeah, that was my assumption. And yeah, I guess that explains the portmanteaus. Then the choice doesn't matter at all, because he equally references both. And, I mean, she even asked, like, was it basically either of the things you could have picked? And you're like, yeah, I mean, it was one of them. And she's like, good, that narrows it down from 2 to 2. I've removed the false sense of urgency. Let's not speak of this any further. Oh boy. Bridget, Harold, time for that dinner we talked about earlier. Meet me at the arcades at the 2nd level. Bring your appetite. To do. Do that thing that she said. Is there a... Can I talk to her? Nah, now she's gonna stare at that panel. There's this thing that I feel like increasingly exists. I don't think it's like a trend, and I don't know of like a particular reason for it. But like... I feel like not a lot of stuff used to get made with this issue. Fish. Can I zoom in on that? Fish. But I feel like this game does this thing that I don't like, which is like a whole world filled with characters that don't have like human motivations. Side note, Demolition asks, did I ever play Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice? No, I know that a sequel came out. I know, I hadn't even heard of it until I think you mentioned it in chat like a month or two ago when that date was approaching. I know essentially nothing about it. I don't even know what genre that game is. But so like... I see this in like movies, and I honestly think it makes them like borderline unwatchable, which is like characters like say words, like characters aren't characters because they don't have like actual motivations. They don't react to things appropriately because there's no consideration given to how a person would feel in that moment. Dialogue is just, like, prescribed to them to advance the plot from people who, like, don't understand how humans or emotions work. And, like, I feel like this game does a lot of that, which sort of explains why Harold is such a do-nothing character and why we're treating these just, like, generally kind of, like, garbage side characters as, like, colorful characters in kind of a quirky world, when actually, like, everyone kind of comes across like sociopaths because, like, none of them has, like, a normal human emotion. And I feel like that coupled with the pacing is, like, a pretty bad mix, to be honest with you. So I gotta go to the arcades and have dinner, I guess.
Have a pleasant journey and a fantastic day.
Tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing. Yeah, more or less.
You may now exit the tube. Thank you on behalf of the All Water Corporation for choosing to travel with us today.
This door is one of my favorite things in Harold Halibut. For better or worse. Guess I'm not going skiing today.
Have you got any more gastro tips for me?
Oh, have you checked out the dolce di leche empanadas at Dutchie's?
God, that sounds
Filling
gross.
is made from diced banana and yerba mate infused butterscotch. It's so sweet, you'll dream of rainbows for a week, but it's totally worth it.
That's such a weird way to say that. Dreaming of rainbows sounds like far from the most objectionable thing possible. He's like, no, don't worry. It's worth the, at worst, mild inconvenience. Oh no, the play is over. What will I do with my life? Hey, Letters, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the raid. How's it going? We're playing Harold Halibut as much as one can play this game. It sort of doesn't have gameplay. It looks really cool, though. We're having a platonic dinner.
Harold, there you are.
4-3 in
Look,
Magic
I got us
Draft.
the best table in the house.
What
Oh,
set
hey,
is that?
Bridget.
I know, like, Theros
Thanks, it looks
Beyond Death
tasty
just
here.
came back recently.
Sit down, come
Is
on.
that still going on?
What are you having? I hear the fish is very good.
Which fish? Actually, I'm not sure I feel like fish anymore.
I'm in love with
you
a
had
fish.
a bad experience with it?
Drafted Yeehaw. What an excellent answer to that question.
So, Harry,
Tells me everything and
how's
saves
life
on
been treating
characters.
You know, keeping fishy.
What?
You know, keeping busy.
What is
Okay.
wrong with this man?
That's good to know. Moreau treating you well?
That man you say
she's
quick soup
very
color
morose.
fish?
Yes, Thorough should be her middle name.
No, I said she's very morose, like, she doesn't change much. But that's nice, too.
Ah, yes. I've always admired that about her. Does she have a real middle name?
It's
I don't
thorough.
think so. But when I was younger, I thought it was Jeanne and that her first name was Professor.
Adorable. Anyway, if you do ever want a change of pace, you can always come and work for me, you know? Like a little sabbatical.
Oh, thank you. If I ever get
I
the
don't think
time,
your
that'd
husband
be
would
fun.
appreciate that. Although I
like
also don't know what
algae, right?
sabbatical means.
Is that on the menu here?
Just
No,
kidding.
at least I hope not.
You know, actually, I did kind of make a mistake.
I'm sure it'll be delicious.
I mean that I did something dumb recently. Silly mistake, but it could have been really serious.
We all make 'em, Harold. I mean, look at Felix. Oh god. No, I don't mean he was a mistake. He's just a bit wayward. But that's probably our fault.
I just sometimes
Did you
wish I could
program him? I don't know what
more
that means either.
about stuff.
Ah, knowing stuff is overrated. You think you know something, then it's wrong in another context. Or you realize you were looking at the wrong
How have
thing,
these
and
people
before you know it, you're an
survived?
all-water energy consultant.
But how often do you do things that could be dangerous?
I work with energy, so all the time. But there's a difference between knowing loads and being wise.
So, being
emphasized
wise
that
is-
weird.
I think it's being kind and knowing
Like,
what
that
you
was
don't
meant to be
know.
British, like
And
knowing
seeing
loads
deeper
of
than just
things,
what
but she made it
something
sound
appears
like
to be.
knowing stuff about
You know,
loads, which is
everyone can make mistakes.
weird.
But not everyone can learn from them.
Thank you, Bridget.
Anyone else hearing this music? It feels really loud. It's not picking up super loud. Thanks, Letters. Appreciate the raid. Enjoy the rest of your night. What music? Fair? What are we doing? What is this game about? I think we're implying that, like, a lot of time is passing. God, I wish you could control the volume of the music in this game, like, at all. Hey, game, I just want you to understand that you're in control of the pacing. You didn't need to make the countdown window 90 days if you wanted to do a time skip. I'm sorry he sat up the dead fish man and lied down in its bed? That's insane. What is wrong with her eyes? Dude, I'm not even, like... I would love to, like, clown on this guy and be like, oh, his best friend is, like, a fish. But, like, it is. He's, like... I don't understand at all, man. Where are they montaging directly after that random pointless conversation? Excellent question. Okay. That was a week? Good God almighty, this game is a mess. Oh, no. I want to address your other question when we get a moment, Devilish, which I'm hoping is nowish. Because I have, like, a real answer, I think. So during that, like, extremely awkward dinner, Devilish pointed out that, like, they had a person, specifically one of, like, 6 people we've met on this whole ship, walked, like, directly between us and the camera when there's, like, a whole vacant food court. Now, the reason to do that is to try and make the scene feel busy. You know, this is a completely handcrafted stop-motion game, right? So, like, it's much harder to, like, fill in extras than it is to, like, pay, like a day rate to some people to, like, mill about in the background or whatever. Your event got canceled via email 10 minutes ago. Woof. Sorry to hear that. But we're glad to have you back, Letters. You only missed the loudest montage in the world, but nothing happens, so it doesn't matter. But, like, so this thing we were just talking about really emphasizes, like, an actual logistical problem with the setting we chose coupled with the medium. So, like, stop motion science fiction game sounds really cool. But, like, the world that they describe to us is that this is like a generational colony ship that got stranded without the ability to, like, expand onto the surface of a planet because it crash landed on an oceanic planet, which wasn't the plan when we were leaving Earth to habitate or whatever. So, like, logically, this ship should be, like, pretty crowded. The ship should be, like, pretty much, like, full to bursting, and, like, it should have that, like, small town thing where, like, everyone knows each other. It should be, like, virtually impossible for people to not have at least a vague sense of who everyone on this ship is, based on, like, what we've seen and what they've described. But, like, there have been, like, numerous times where, like, people made it sound like it's like living in a city where, like, oh, I haven't even, like, heard of that person or whatever. And, like, how many, like, actual people have we met? I mean, even if we count all the individual clones of that one guy, like, there's, like, 4 of him. There's the super jerk guy who pulled a prank on us. There's his wife. There's the postman. There's the air conditioning guy. There's, like, 5 business owners in the arcade. There's the captain. There's the teacher. Like, we've seen, like, 3 or 4 kids, I'll be generous. There's the guy who does the announcements for the ship. And then, like, even if we count, like, each individual person, like, napping in, like, Central Station, and count, like, a couple of other extras we've seen who don't contribute anything, like, around the stage and stuff, I think we're still at, like, 20 total people, and that's being, like, pretty generous. it's just, it's so weird. Like, I get that we had to cut corners and not make like 1 billion models for like a game that's produced in stop motion, but then like we did a really weird thing in my opinion by like choosing this setting, which suggests that like either this should have started off as like a really small mission and it'd be like a small group of people on a ship that got stranded, or like I don't know how we fix this. We just like made some weird choices that are hard to reconcile with the way we produce this game.
Gigantic energy implications if handled correctly.
Angel, welcome to the stream.
Goes to the right level of radiation. Or heat activation potential.
Professor?
Yes, Harold, yes? These glowing particles I swabbed from fish's skin might not be that spectacular on their own.
Okay.
But they do have their own kind of beauty, you see?
Please slow down. I don't see it all.
You will when you inspect them under a microscope. They seem
Maybe
to
leave
give
with
off
that
an
or whatever.
inner light, and since I've been looking, it's not dimmed at all.
So they're a light source?
More than that, they might be our miracle, our only hope of relaunching on time.
Whoa, so they're a power source.
Quite so. Light is an energy, so I thought about testing their effect on our bacteria cultures. Watch this. Look.
God,
when the
I
particles
have to tell you that I hate
the
this.
cultures undergo massive mitosis and give off enough radiation.
Ah, it's growing. It's going to outgrow the dish. What if it never stops growing?
Not to worry, it does. And you can discourage the growth, like so.
You could also just poison them. That'll kill them.
Okay, that's very cool, but isn't it dangerous?
Only if someone much less meticulous than I tried the same little experiment wrong. Ha! Yes, you'd be chasing down rogue bacteria for hours.
That's not foreshadowing
so keep
at all.
This to yourself for now.
Don't
You
worry,
have to
not
ask me
foreshadowing.
twice.
So, the particles clearly have
I
fantastic
think you do have to ask him
proportional
twice. I
kinetic
don't think he remembers the
potential
first
at
time and it
even
just
a
happened
moderate
to him.
temperature. And crucially, their rate of radiation is highly regulated. Now we need to know more.
Okay, well, soon as Fishy is awake again, I'll ask.
See that you do. Now, let's get over to the arcades. We don't want to miss the new start procedure presentation.
So it's been what, like 9 or 10 days and the fish still hasn't woken up and we think that's like cool and normal? At best that thing's in a coma.
Assembled Fedorans, it is my almost incalculable pleasure to introduce these 2 demonstrations today. Each will explore a different potential relaunch procedure in model form.
This is just a
giving
science
you all
fair?
a realistic look at the science
Probably asleep,
behind
but
it
at
all.
room temperature. Yeah,
Not
letters.
that it will affect our decision on which to prioritize in any way.
Also,
but please
I like
do
your
cheer
point,
for
but
favorite.
we're keeping in cutscenes.
Without further
We'll
ado,
talk about that in a minute.
please welcome Cyrus, Soleil, and his representative computer model simulation of the factors involved in a relaunch to the stage.
Okay.
Boo!
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. I mean, to watch
Bring
this
out David
presentation.
Spade!
There's a
What
lot
are we
of
doing
science,
here?
so I thought I'd just show you the computer model. So, here it
This
goes.
is a small representation of a computer, thus a model of a computer or a computer model. Is this an old computer? Aren't we on the Fedora 2? Ooh, Quonks. Is Quonks a thing? I see, and then we hypnotize the watermelon. Yeah, I don't think I have any questions. I think this is pretty clear. Yeah, so if we fire a
This is
birdcage into space, it'll
not supposed to-
self-destruct.
But you see, in a way, this proves the importance of considering every angle. And with just a few calibrations, I'm
Yeah,
sure...
from the screen of death.
That's quite enough, Cyrus. Thank you. Moving swiftly on. Slipmeyer, will you please present Flow and Go to the audience, please?
Absolutely, Madam CEO. Please witness the future of Fedora.
A launch plan not just to the stars, but for the superstars you all are.
Yeah, pander to the crowd.
The
Why
following
is that
presentation
working?
is brought to you by the Schlippmeyer Foundation, putting trust in humanity's dreams for hope. In partnership with All Water Corp, making life flow. And sponsored by Slippy's Winter Sports Goods. Chill times all year round. The Fedora.
Can I pay for a membership to skip these ads?
Trapped together, all of us, underwater. But no more. It's time we grabbed destiny with both hands and say, Destiny, meet Project Flow and Go. We begin by rolling up our
that sounds like some
sleeves
sort of
for
toilet
good-old-fashioned
solution.
hard work, starting with making the Fedora whole again. Once we're back in one piece and good as new, apart from a few seaweed stains and a little rust, we'll utilize the awesome power.
We have not established what happened to the Fedora 1. This is a major oversight, I feel.
Around the base of the Fedora. Why? Well, did you know ice is 9% denser than water? That's what makes those ice cubes float on the top of your soda. Are you catching on? Here comes the kicker. The giant ice flow attached to the Fedora will rise up from the depths and help us go
I feel like you would need
back into the atmosphere.
like a broader
Once
platform
we're
of ice for that to
again,
work for
we'll
something
have
that
to say
heavy.
goodbye to our flow,
If that even works
but
at all,
we'll
I don't
never
know.
Forget it.
I'm not that
And
smart.
Reignite not just our thrusters. but
Again, it
also
feels like
our
he didn't
hopes
think this
and
through.
Dreams. The stars await. Let Slippy's and the Fedora, powered by Slippy's aircon technology, take you there.
Well, I think it's fair to say the people have spoken.
But I thought you said it wasn't a vote.
It's not. I just happen to agree with them. I'm not convinced
We're all
your
gonna die.
model is quite up to the rigorous standards we need.
I'm not sure this one is.
A lot of vision and attention to detail.
Did you see all those special
Show
effects?
Any attention to detail that matters, just sparkles and.
I think it's best we put a freeze on your project, Cyrus. I'm sure you have much more
I'm
important.
sad she didn't shoot him with like a Mr. Freestyle
No
ice
hard
gun.
feelings, eh, Cryus?
Cryus?
No, it's. Wait. What did you call me?
We all want what's best for the Fedora, eh? Wish me luck.
Finger guns.
Something is afoot. Too many things that don't add up. And you know how I hate bad arithmetic.
Right. Like why my model failed.
And why all water went with a patently absurd option.
And why the tube fares keep
Couldn't have
going
said
up.
that any less
Yes,
American.
And why?
Patently absurd.
Harold, I really don't think that part is connected.
And why did they want us to keep going without letting us know about Slippy?
Now that I think
What?
about it, there was something weird about his presentation.
Yeah. He seemed even more infuriatingly self-important.
Doesn't mean not letting us know
than
about
ever.
Slippy. I don't know what that means.
Name calling isn't going to get us anywhere. Let's look at the facts.
There's the energy shortage that Bridget told me about.
We know which start procedure is most popular, even though it'll never work. Oh, maybe they're planning on that.
Are you positing a secret all-water plan, shielded by a deliberately untenable public one?
Yeah, I think
It seems
so.
more likely
Yeah,
that they would want the outcome of us
you
being
mean
trapped here
Slippy's
rather than them
right?
like secretly
Yes,
doing a better
I mean
job of getting off
Slippy's,
the
but
planet.
yours is clearly missing something too.
I know, but the foundations are sound. I just need to pinpoint what went wrong.
Did you double-check the velocity correction?
Of course, but the power
I mean, the
differential-
computer
Yes,
broke.
yes, I know. But that
at
doesn't
some
mean
point.
anything without a variable energy diffusal.
So you keep saying, but unless we run the model enough times,
If I could just...
All models are false, so
all very good and well to say, but we have to base our
It's
tests
just,
on something.
a waste of time without more information
It's a
first.
weird drawing.
We'd be the
I don't know what that
blind
is.
leading the...
Okay, I'm gonna do a hard pause on that one because this game will not ever stop talking. Let's talk about that presentation, huh? How does he make those ads? I mean, he made his own video. He made like a commercial for himself, even though the only TV that appears to be on the ship is like that Turkish soap opera that I don't think is broadcast from the ship. So like, he's got the skills. I don't know why though. Wouldn't the thrusters melt the ice before he could take off? I mean, it does seem that that would happen, yeah. I mean, one might be able to argue there's some world in which you, like, get enough thrust that you no longer need the ice to keep you floated to the top by the time that happens, but I don't know if that math works out at all. Where's the fuel come from? Dude, I don't know. I'm so confused. Like, we at the start of this game, they were talking about that energy crisis, right? Of, like, you know, we've changed nothing and are gradually losing power. Which, I don't know, the more nothing happens, the more I'm inclined to think that, like, that's part of the conspiracy. It's not actually that, like, things are becoming less efficient, but that, like, all water is, like, using more energy for Project Misdirect, and for some reason no one else just has the means to, like, figure out that there's just more power draw or something. But, like, again, a whole bunch of that presentation and our understanding as the audience of this game of, like, what the goal is of all the characters in the game was missing a really key foundational piece there. You know, as far as we've known this entire time, we've been on the Fedora 2, which I thought was just, I don't know, like, the second Fedora ship. I don't know if the first one went somewhere else or got lost or was destroyed or what, but, like, we were on the Fedora 2. And then, like, both of those presentations are talking about, like, reassembling the Fedora 1 and taking off. And I'm like, okay, but, like, what part of the Fedora 1 is the Fedora 2? And why did we eject, like, our entire spaceship? Like, I have lots and lots of questions about this thing you wanted to gloss over. Just also observed, it doesn't matter how good your ideas are if you can't communicate them convincingly, just like real life. Yeah, definitely also some kind of subterfuge, though, I think. But, like, I don't... It's just, there's so much care and attention that has gone into the animation of this game. It feels like it's fully divorced from the writing. In the sense that, like, the writing feels like it has absolutely no nuance or direction or care. Like, we were talking before about how it feels like so many of these characters come across like sociopaths because no one has any convincing, like, motivations or emotions. And I, like, stand by that. Even in these moments where there is, like, some clear motivation of, like, the Cyrus, the guy who sucks, like, wants the ship to take off. But, like, he's seems more concerned about the fact that, like, his presentation bombed than about the fact that if we follow this other, like, nonsensical plan, like, we're all gonna die. Like, that feels like that should be a more pressing... Like, they're having this, like, heated but relatively reasoned debate about, like, what's going on. It's like, the conspiracy is not the biggest problem. It's probably a piece of the puzzle. But, like, if we're somehow gonna run out of resources or die if we stay on this planet, then we gotta, like, figure out a way to, like, change their minds. Like, the rest of this doesn't matter.
Every new step opens up new vistas.
What is that supposed to mean?
That if we just start...
Is there a trophy for listening to them argue for 15 minutes?
You're bringing philosophy into this. It's a matter for science.
Hey, philosophy is a science of the mind.
Well, do you mind focusing on the science of...
Any clues what this drawing is of?
Yes, I know.
Well, if
I don't think...
know,
I have so many messages for some reason.
First?
But you said all models are wrong.
Turn a phrase. Don't get caught up on semantics.
Well, I wonder if my source...
Where's home?
I'm sure...
Meet us in the toilets. Come alone.
The source
Make sure you're not being followed. The
blaming
light keepers.
I'm accusing it.
You'd know if you'd interrogated the velocity correction rangers.
Naming him Cactus Man. It's a good name.
Yes,
Hey, I'm gonna go check on Fishy, who is presumably still dead. It's a lot quieter in here. Let's read the rest of our messages. Sonny. Hola, Harold. I've been thinking long and hard about what you asked me last time, and I've made up my mind. The cutest fish is definitely the splendid speckle belly. Don't try and argue. Hey, Harry. Was just thinking about your ill friend. I'm sending them positive vibes, okay? You too. Harold, it was great to see you again. Been too long. Don't be a stranger, you big goof. This relationship is so confusing to me. So confusing. Because, like, every indication we've gotten from Harold throughout the game is that he doesn't have any regrets about the fact that he is not in a relationship with Sunny anymore. And then we have that montage, and it's like he's trying to rekindle the relationship that he, like, didn't want to have. But, like, we didn't see anything change his mind. He just kept going there and being like, I am, like, uncomfortable talking to her, and I don't miss her. And then all of a sudden he's, like, hanging out with her, like, trying to fix stuff. Like, I genuinely don't understand. Again, like, motivation just, like, not clear, not consistent. Who is Shia? Harold. Oh my god. Harold, it's Shia. How have you been? What's new? I don't know who that is. Cyrus. Harry, it's Cyrus. Did I leave my oscillator at the lab the other day? Why did we get like 1,000 Like, I know that we experienced the montage as the viewers, but wouldn't Harold presumably be checking his messages when he got them? Oh, interesting. Bacteria lifting glowy particles. It's probably something like that. Professor Moreau. Harold, I noticed you still haven't fixed the leaky tap like I asked you to. It's driving me mad. I know you're busy, but a mind like mine needs optimum conditions. Well, I guess I'm going to the toilet. Hang on. Does the to-do list go to the toilet? Lightkeepers on the toilet. Got a message from the Lightkeepers. They seemed excited to go to the toilet and have me watch them. I'm concerned about this relationship also. Okay, bye, fish. You're probably dead.
What is that supposed to mean?
That if we just start, we'll have more information with which to...
I don't know why you're bringing philosophy into this. It's a matter for science.
Hey, philosophy is a science of the mind.
I'm just gonna leave them with my shelf of random knicknacks. I don't know why this is always available, but gotta flip that switch. Oh, I accidentally tried to open the door and hit the switch again. Okay, goodbye, shelf of various knickknacks.
I wonder if my source data is erroneous. I'm sure I checked my calculations.
You're blaming the source data now?
I'm not.
You know, a loop like this in a normal adventure game would indicate that I'm supposed to do something here. I think it's just to low-key annoy me in this game. I don't know. God, I sure hope that teacher isn't showering in here again.
Ah! Who? What?
You could at least, like, lock the stall.
I'm a friend.
Well, friends shouldn't scare other friends. What's this all about?
Can you go into the shower and close the door? This is a strictly off-the-record conversation.
Okay, I'm in. What's happening here?
Okay, listen. We need a man we can trust.
Who
a
is
fish man?
Oh, right. Yeah, the Lightkeepers.
We received a message to come here.
The Lightkeepers?
How are you surprised by this information?
Whoa.
Harold is the worst.
How many of you are there?
Well, it's just me in here. But, I mean, there are lots of Lightkeepers. We are Legion. I'm one of them. An important one.
Wow. So...
I'm like super cool. Everyone wants to be me, for sure.
But how did you know that? I guess you have eyes and ears everywhere. Secret informants and...
Yeah, all of that stuff.
Yeah, like definitely, for sure, not lying.
Secret source.
Right.
Shh.
Wow.
Secret source.
Okay. So, what do you need?
What we need is proof. All water are planning something. We know it. We just can't prove it yet.
Yes. How can I get proof? I'm not very actually a detective.
I'm not very actually a detective.
Oh, just listen.
Yeah, I think that's self-evident, buddy.
The shaft leads to the CEO's office. And we know there's going to be an important meeting happening there shortly.
Ah, yes, that shaft is freezing. Thanks to Slippy's new and improved AC.
We know, but we planned around it. First,
this is definitely that same kid from before, right?
Our intel has narrowed the location of one down to Moreau's lab. You'll need to distract her, steal the camera, and make it back to us undetected.
Oh, okay. I think I can
Isn't she already distracted?
Time is of the essence. Meet me back here as soon as you have the goods.
Will do. How do you know about the meeting, by the way? A network of hidden informants?
No. We just snooped in the CEO's diary during one of our open-door policy days.
Oh, okay.
There are so many problems with that being possible and true.
Slippery fish.
Wow, I get a call name?
Yes, and good luck.
He literally got a message from the Lightkeepers being like, hey, please meet us, the Lightkeepers. We have important things to tell us, us being the light keepers. And then we get there and he's like, the light keepers?
Looking for something, Harold?
Why do they suddenly care about it? They were so distracted by each other like 5 seconds ago.
The little video camera.
Oh my god, the worst spy of all time.
Pentasonic Mark II.
If you say so. Have you seen it?
Of course I have. What you mean is, do I know where it is now?
Yes. Do you?
No, what a pedantic and unhelpful way to live. Thanks, Professor.
I really need it, Professor.
I'm too busy to help you rummage around. Anyway,
she's not.
Didn't you have it last?
Oh,
she's not gonna ask, like, why he wants it?
Sure it's not in there, though.
All models are false, so...
All very good and well to say, but we have to base our tests...
God, you have to love that, like, we're basically told, like, hey, we're recruiting you for a secret mission. It's of the utmost importance that you go and find this thing without, like, Professor What's-Her-Face being aware of it. So, like, secretly go do that and come back. And we wander into the room, we're like, hey, Professor, where's the thing that I need? And for some reason, she, like, also doesn't care, so, like, there was no point to any of that. I think it's a big Toblerone.
Look at this doodad.
Oh, I thought he was looking at that tube in the background.
Excellent.
Pointless interlude.
You'd know if you'd interrogated the velocity correction rangers.
Of course, but the power differential...
Yes, I know, but that doesn't mean anything without a variable energy diffusal.
So you keep saying, but unless we run the model enough time...
Hey, real talk. So, as far as we know, there's no specific reason why this laboratory would need a video camera. So it's not like a thing that they would obviously have. So, like, why couldn't this agent just, like, have the camera and give it to us? Like, why would this even need to be part of the game? What I'm saying is that could have been a cutscene.
Okay, here you go.
Let's see. Yes. Perfect. Let me just make a few quick modifications.
What's
You handed him an entire remote-controlled car.
Huh? What's it going to do?
Mobile secret reconnaissance, of course. Come on, let's get going. We don't want to miss anything important.
Okay, so what should I do with it?
Start by placing it in the shaft.
Oh, baby.
Then you'll need to use the remote controls to navigate it to the CEO's office. Then you'll need to find a good view to record it all from. Drive it back out of the shaft and into our welcoming arms, all in the name of truth.
Right. Okay, I think I can do that.
I don't.
You don't want to drive?
I've seen you, Harold.
I would, but I'm not so good with remote spatial awareness, and, you know, someone like you has experience with control panels.
Oh,
what?
Well, if you're sure. Righto, MotoCam. Let's take you for a drive.
Kind of figured there'd be some consequence to all this paper, but like, nah. Brr, it's cold in here. There must be some Tauros, etc., etc. Hold on. This feels very important to me personally. I can't turn enough to get a good look at it, but that's clearly a... It's clearly a rat of sorts, huh? Gotta have this somewhere.
Squeak, squeak.
There it is. I'll get the hang of the new places for the soundboard eventually. Okay, bye, rat. What's the range on this sucker? Dang. Hey, rat. Okay, bye. I like hang out with this one. No, you really can't turn 90 degrees. They don't want you to have like an Austin Powers Zamboni situation.
Okay, Madam CEO, I'll be going now.
Hi, hello, it's me, Vasco. I don't know if you've been doing chores with me in the background. I really would love to call your attention to what just happened. So the premise of the thing we're doing right now is that we basically shoved a camera inside of a remote-controlled car that just, like, is a convertible car with, like, an open top. So we just, like, shoved a camera into it. And we drove it through the air conditioning vent with no possible deviation. Also could have been a cutscene, whatever, it's fine. However, when we got to our destination, we sort of positioned ourselves. This is important. Let's go big screen. So, like, here's the ground level, right? And, let's say that my watch face here is the vent that we would like to capture video from. Sure, that's fine. So we drive our car, like, right up to that vent, and then the camera just sort of begins to levitate and rotate so it can look directly down into that vent. Now, when we were given instructions, it was basically like, yeah, then we'll have to find an optimal viewing location. We didn't say anything about telekinesis or the fact that the camera itself was some kind of drone that thus nullifies the purpose of having a little remote-controlled car to move it there. I don't know how or why that's possible, or why they expect me to just ignore the fact that they've done that. But
yes, I believe you shall.
We've and we're camera moves and everything.
Yes. Is that Dr. Computer? What? It's me, Castle Chop. The password.
Castle Chop.
Oh, for goodness sake, must I? Okay, fine. It's Kutsu Hung Shiny Prize.
Is that a
I'm just
funny
to
joke?
say you may commence stage D as discussed. Do you have everything you need? Very well. Keep me in the loop. Time is of the essence. Yes, okay.
I will try to remember it, but it would be shocking to me if my
down.
actions had consequences in this game, Demolition.
Righto. 8 R 3 N 4. Open. Oh, hello, my lovelies. Listen to your beautiful purring. So nearly a perfect harmony, but just missing that one last voice. I'll find you one eventually, wherever you are.
That rat doesn't look normal. Well, feels like that sort of undoes our hard work, huh?
Oh, wow. Oh, gee.
What can you see? Don't shut me out here.
Tell you later. Gotta get to the lab.
Slippery fish, wait, what about the mission?
Can I shower?
What did you see? Slippery fish, you can't go without a debriefing. Come back.
Frankly, I'm not sure that anything we saw there warrants, like, immediate panic or action or whatever. I don't see a reason why we couldn't end the conversation with this person that we can't end the conversation with.
Professor, Sai.
Oh, hey, Harold. What's got you more jumpy than a caffeinated frog, hmm?
Wait till you
Like a
see
frog
this.
in a sock.
I'll just get it hooked up.
Okay, I'm waiting.
This guy is a terrible spy.
Dr. Computer? This opens a whole box of questions.
If you ask me, it's more of a parcel of intrigue.
I wasn't and won't be asking you. Anyway, only one
It's a reasonable
thing is for
reaction to
certain
things
in all
that
this
Cyrus
mess.
says.
We must continue with the alternative start sequence post-haste.
How on Fedora did you get this, Harold?
I don't know.
It's a long story, but it all started when I...
I'm sure you were very heroic, but it can wait. We've got to act fast.
And we should be careful who we trust.
Quite so. In fact, Cyrus...
Are we going to shoot
I
Cyrus?
think you should continue your work in the small room downstairs. It's out of sight and should have what you need.
Okay. The really small one?
Don't whine. Anyway, I have to see Bridget to tell her about all of this.
I'm super
Harold,
unclear as to
can you
whether
take
this
the box of
guy
computer stuff downstairs for
works for her.
Cyrus.
Will do.
Great. Okay, everyone, let's get on with it.
Like, Cyrus seems to be a super disagreeable person, but, like, even though he doesn't like the professor, he generally does what she says. I do appreciate that the task given was, like, a box of computer stuff. I don't know. He loves computer stuff. Sometimes I can't tell if this game is being stupid or if it's trying to accuse me of being stupid. Kind of comes across the same way, and I don't like it regardless. Is the small room the one that we, like, first met the dude in? No, it's this room that I think was locked before?
But if that equals x minus 1, what about... But that would change the square of...
Sai?
Oh, yeah, hey,
I've got this box of computer stuff for you.
Oh.
He was in the room when you were told to do
just
it.
put it on the table.
He literally
Sure you
could
don't
have
need
brought
me
this
to
box
stick my
down here
screwdriver
himself.
in anything?
What? No, I think it's fine.
I was just... Remember when... Anyway, what are you working on?
Well, this place isn't exactly my usual setup. I need to expand the filter station control system with these parts. Then I can run the tests I need and access the thrusters. Drat, this is going to be tricky. Different gens of server tech. The old Fedora firewall's blocking me out so that the connections might not talk properly to each other.
Oh no, that'd be lonely.
Not what we're doing.
Reckon you could go ask Raffi if they can help open a few ports and maybe disable the firewall? I've not a moment to lose.
Sure. What should I tell them?
I know
Raffi. Just that I need their system protocol expertise. Appeal to their vanity?
Can do. Back soon.
Pointless interlude. Yet again. Who is Raffi? In the arcade, if they could disable the firewall. Guess I'll go to the arcade. They just stayed in the toilet? Bathrobe guy? Is he? Maybe. I don't see why he would have access to the servers, though. There's something so, like, unbelievably socially awkward about that whole exchange with that person in the bathroom, which in and of itself sounds about right. But just like, we left without talking to them, even though they gave us the means to see that clandestine meeting and tasked us with doing it, and we just, like, walked off and can't finish the conversation with them, but now they're, like, too embarrassed to leave. I don't know. I don't know what to make of all that.
Destination determined. Now, relax with all water.
In the science lab, you have a decontamination shower in front.
You're here.
You would think so.
All water tubes.
I mean, they have one for the energy area, but not for the laboratory. I don't know. The laboratory feels like nonsense, to be quite honest. So Raffi's not the guy who has the air conditioning place. He's not the wiener guy. I don't think he's the guy with the general store. I'm kind of assuming it's the person who runs the arcade.
Raffi?
What is it
Got
now?
it in one.
Cyrus needs help with some pretty important research. So I came to ask...
Are you aware your head is
there any chance
popcorn?
you could help disable a firewall for him? It's stopping him from accessing the systems he needs.
Yeah, I mean, that is
For
what the
research.
firewall does.
Could you be any less specific?
No, but...
Of course. I know what you mean anyway.
Oh, how... I mean, great. So, you'll help?
Afraid not. Any system Cyrus is struggling to access is old. That stuff isn't my responsibility anymore.
I know, but it'd be a huge favor.
Plus, messing with that might have knock-on effects. Might even mess
Knock-on
with my
effects?
cabinets here.
Oh, I see. Well,
I'm sure that's British for something.
Any tips for doing it ourselves?
Have you tried turning it on and off again?
Oh.
You said
I'll
it wrong.
suggest it. Thanks anyway, Rafi.
See, cascading. Why not say cascading? When you say cascading, I know what that means. Don't you love playing a video game and being tasked with, like, a completely menial task to deliver a message and then immediately getting plot blocked?
Got any left field foodie recommendations?
In that case, pickled everything is the eating experience for you.
Oh no, that sounds horrible.
It's a pop-up shop in one of the science district's old storage containers. Everything there is cold and slimy, which they claim has a number of health benefits. But it also takes your palate to some earthy, oceany places.
I don't know why I talked to him. Eska, you need to watch more British things. I think I actually watch, like, more British things than the average American person does. Still haven't heard knock-on effects, and I'm not sure what type of thing I would have to watch to get that experience. Guess I'll just...
Location nominated.
go back where I came from, having achieved nothing.
All water thanking you. Thank you for traveling with all water.
It's, like, incredible how much this game clings to, like, plot not happening. Hey, it's that bird.
Hang on. That's Zoya's bird.
Would there be another bird? What's the actual crap?
Good shot.
I'm not just a pretty face, you know.
Why do you have that function?
Do you have any idea what this feathery menace is doing here? He could have damaged all sorts of sensitive equipment.
Yeah.
Is that thing made of the rings from soda
deliver her back
cans?
to her rightful owner.
Okay, if you say so. Just see that she doesn't get loose in here again.
Why don't people use the phones they have? That's such a good question. I know we've asked it before, but it still bears repeating. I mean, in a weird way, it's kind of clever
Captain
to
at Large
use
Zoya?
the soda rings as a capture device for wildlife.
I found her in the lab.
Still
She
kind of
seemed
messed
very
up, though.
excited about something.
Is she okay?
Yep, I think so. Moreau had to help me catch her. Hence the net.
Ah, Coco, you mischievous little thing, you. Causing
He's
your
gonna eat
captain
that
to worry
bird,
and
huh?
Making trouble for everyone. Don't ever change.
Well, I'm glad you're back together.
Thank you, Harold. If you ever want to come and visit, please feel free. You should see her peeling a nut. It's hilarious. And the way she
that
dances when I
like
put
a
music
euphemism?
on.
Thanks, Zoya. I might pop by another time. See you, Coco.
I keep wanting to think that the zoom in button is run, and it never is. It just does that awkward zooming in thing. How'd the bird get in here? Dude, I don't know. I've largely accepted that there are definitely things that I will never get answers to. It won't stop me from asking certain questions, but some things I'm just like, it doesn't even feel worth asking because I just know I'm not gonna get information. It's just... It's kind of interesting too, right? Like, I feel like in a normal video game, if you were to, like, uncover a piece of that conspiracy, like, you'd be in on the next step. Like, you wouldn't necessarily do every single step of whatever follows that, of us trying to, like, save the inhabitants of the ship by, like, not doing something stupid. But, like, we bring that information to the professor and Cyrus, and they're like, oh... well, we're gonna do that, and you can do some more busy work. And, like, I do feel like there's a way that you make that game, and it's like a commentary on something, and it's meaningful, and I don't think that we've done that here. To blow through our monthly transport allowance yet? I mean, at the start of the game, they were like, they just increased the costs of the tubes, which is why my account is delinquent or whatever. Do I have reason to go? Let me go to the utility district. I kind of want to see what that note was on the post office door at the end of the montage a while back.
We know you enjoy.
Did that guy get, like, fired or something?
Water. You're welcome.
Hey, folks. Regret to say I won't be able to make the rounds at the moment. Sorry. And thank you for your continued trust in the Popo Postal Service. Buddy.
Stuff makes me so mad. This is like what all of the radio stations I deal with do. Is like, yeah, I get that you're like a small operation and like sometimes like a vacation or other unforeseen absence happens, but like if you have non-redundancy plan, it still kind of breaks the whole system, doesn't it? Like, it'd be great for us to plan these things ahead and hire appropriately. Also,
Sonny?
Sup, Harry?
Not always, like, sign up to start processing a new thing on your end at the same time you're taking a vacation. I'll die mad about this. Tell me about the new start procedure. You like the ice cubes or whatever?
What do you think about the start procedure?
Oh, I think Slippy is all show. Unfortunately, Dad has very little show, but he is all brain. If he could just swap a little bit of brain for a little show... Plus, if you ask me, Slippy isn't taking the Archimedes principle properly into account. If we want the ice to be buoyant, the Fedora will have to displace an equal amount of water, and we don't even know if the gravity is lesser than the upward push of the buoyancy force. Given water bodies usually
How do we
freeze
not
from
know
the
that
top
by now?
down, I don't know. It all seems a bit fishy to me.
You know fishy? I mean, like, if we had just landed on this planet, I think I would agree with her of like, oh, we don't know if the physics will work this way. But, like, we've been here for decades. How do we not know how the physics of this planet work? Ocean says, he has a similar experience dealing with Google. We're 1.5 years trying to fix a city border map. Talked with 7 people and nothing's been done.
What's new
Bureaucracy.
with you?
Well, I'm starting to think about my next adventure.
Try Sam and Max. It's better than this game. Any one of them.
Dead end.
Oh, where will you go?
Even Moai
Not
Better
sure.
Blues.
Something that really pushes me to break down my ego barrier and find my true calling. Maybe I'll try baked goods.
Oh, I know a great donut place.
I mean creating them, silly.
Dumb. God, he's so
It'd be nice to bring a little
stupid.
delight into people's lives every day, you know?
Take care, Sonny.
Peace.
She's like, maybe I'll find a new purpose in my life. Like, making baked goods. And he's like, oh yeah, you could eat a donut. Like, what the? What? Do I consider this a bad game or a frustrating game? Personally, I think I'm more inclined to classify it as frustrating, but like, I think in like an objective sense, it depends on like how you define game and what you're looking for from a game or from this game, but like, I think there's a pretty strong case for it being like a legitimately bad game, to be quite frank. But like, I still do appreciate the craft that went into this. Like, I don't know. It's so tough to say. I always want a donut. I mean, I also want a donut, having talked about it for like 0 seconds, but like, that's my secret, Cap. I always want a donut. Guess I'll go...
Water compliments you on your choice of destination.
Where am I going? I've lost track. Because I did the bird thing and it didn't matter.
All water. We get you where you're going.
To do. Oh, never ended up telling him about the can eat more.
Travel in style with all water. Unsatisfactory journey for some reason? Just contact your nearest... and all water will make it up to you.
Well, yeah, like, phones seem like they would save a lot of gameplay.
Hey,
for the 500 bits for the Dota Fund demolition.
Help.
Good news. I got it working.
How?
Typical right after you left. Sorry, I forgot to
This
message
game
you.
sucks.
I got distracted verifying part 1 of my double checklist by testing the velocity of a plant stock in a variety of energetic states while varying the atmospheric pressure. Harold?
Yes?
I was thinking about donuts.
Thanks for asking him, though.
That's okay. Good luck with the rest of the checklist.
Yes, I'll get back to it.
A message from Tommy Vidivart. Hey, Harold, what do you say? What? Did it, like, eat the message? Something weird just happened there. I tried to zoom in on this and it gave me, like, a default whatever. What do you say to a drink or two? They're on me. I'm at Beer Zone. Which person is Tommy? Tommy might be the robe guy. He has some, like, weird last name that always, like, when I see it, I'm like, right, that's that guy. But I can't ever think of it. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, I feel like they're doing a better job with the gender-neutral arcade manager than... Like, when they first brought the fish on board, they were calling it, and then they were calling it, like, a guy and whatever. Like, if we're gonna use gender-neutral pronouns, we could start that way. And not call it it. I don't know. It came across weird to me, because it felt like they were trying to do, like, a gender-neutral thing, but they were doing a bad job, and then they, like, actually know what they're doing with this other character, and I'm like, why did we... What was that?
Destination chosen. We hope you enjoy your all-water tube system journey. You've arrived. Have you checked your pockets before leaving?
I will say, I don't remember what it was. I was recently watching something with my parents, and I think it was like a reality show of some kind, and like some person on the show said that they like kept gender-neutral plants or something. And I'm like, that doesn't strike me as like an appropriate use of that, because the plant doesn't identify as being gender-neutral. The book doodle is increasing. It's true. As you progress in the game, you get more book doodles. A lot of them don't look like anything to me. This one is obviously her launching soda packing rings around the bird, and that was just fine. How am I doing? I don't know. I'm doing okay, I guess. Kind of a stressful week. I have like a... But it's just fun that is obviously, yeah, you know, the thing, and she's reading a book while doing it, which wasn't happening at the time. Yeah, I mean, so I got like a short week next week. We have the Memorial Day holiday, and then late next week I have that concert that I've been talking vaguely about. So I'm taking a couple of days off because I have to travel to San Diego for that, and I didn't feel like it made a lot of sense to like drive probably 3-ish, maybe more hours down to San Diego, and then like try to do a concert all night, and then like get one night's sleep and drive back. So it took like an extra day for that, which might be stupid. Yeah, bird's at the bottom. It looks a little like a Fabergé egg or something, to be fair. How's the drive there? I mean, I've only driven to San Diego once. It was for Comic-Con years ago. My sister somehow ended up with like a spare Sunday day pass and give me like probably something like 12 hours notice. Was like, hey, I have this. You want to like drive here and like come to Comic-Con for a day? I was like, yeah, I should probably do that. Can't say I got a ton done not having had a chance to like plan in advance, but it was still pretty cool to do. But how was the... I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's been years now, but like I feel like the San Diego drive was like fine but tedious. Not like super rough. I mean, the one time I'd personally driven up to Big Bear was like, that was a rough drive. That's a bad one. You get all like the greatest hits of bad times driving on a mountain on a cliff. Like, it's not great. So I guess I'm gonna have a drink with maybe Robe Guy. Who is this? This person is Tommy? Who is... Oh, he's the shop guy. He has what my hair's gonna look like in 5
Harold,
years.
you came. Sit down, let me get you a drink.
Thanks, Tommy. I'll have whatever you're having.
A man of fine taste. So, how's life?
I mean, of course you'd say that. You picked whatever you picked.
Nothing out of the ordinary whatsoever. Definitely just the same as always.
Definitely not harboring a fish corpse or anything.
So, hey, I wanted to say about that blue rock.
It wasn't your fault, Tommy.
I know, but boy did I feel like I had egg on my face. Those darned light keepers, always messing about in other people's business.
Yeah,
Alright, I left them in a toilet
I don't
stall.
think they're so bad. I'm sorry they smashed your window, but they seem to have good stuff in mind.
Well, you've got good stuff at heart, and you didn't need to break my window. But hey, what do I know?
How is the shop going?
Just fine. The sign has given things a bit of a boost.
That
but
makes
new
no
stock
sense.
has been a bit slow. I'd love to scale back the time I spend there a bit, you know.
Difference in their eye
Spend more
sizes
time
is
with
shocking.
Bridget, especially now she's
It's
working
very,
so much again.
Like, anime sort of distinction, huh?
Life has definitely
Big
become more
innocent
busy
eyes
recently.
on Harold
You
because
got
he's a
that right.
doofus.
It's good to have someone to talk to. Someone who doesn't mind my grouching.
No way do I mind, Tommy. Grouch all you want.
Thanks, Harold. I'll get back
This
to
is me
grouching
talking to
soon,
my
but
friends.
hey, how about you? Those filters keeping you on your toes?
The filters? Why? Have you seen something?
Who said anything about a fish
no
corpse?
reason at all. I got no special interest in the filters.
Is this guy
Just
secretly
making
like
conversation.
Filter Frankie,
I
the
haven't
guy who
heard
does
from
all the
Filter
smuggling?
Frankie in a while. Guess he's taking it easy.
Oh, sorry. Well, the filters are also totally normal, just like
Harold
always.
Senpai noticed
Okay,
me.
good.
Who wants
Well,
Harold's
here's to the
attention?
filters, Long may they remain at optimal capacity. Cheers.
It looks like their drinks are
So
censored.
come on. You must have something you want to grouch
I
about.
love, I love that they like
try not
toasted
to,
and didn't
you know,
even make an
focus
effort to
on it.
drink.
Come on. It's your turn. Don't make me do all the grumbling.
Okay. Well, the tube tickets are pretty annoying.
I am
The rules
extremely
change
broke.
faster than I can keep up. I swear they do it just to confuse you into making mistakes so they can fine you. And
Yes,
it's not
the
like they
government.
work all the time anyway. So what are you paying for? I just wish it was easier to get around, you know, without worrying all the time.
Are we doing another montage? These montage points are highly inexplicable if true. Music doesn't seem nearly as loud this time. It's clearly not. Dude, the music in this game is so confusing. You can't, like, adjust the level at all without, like, adjusting the all volume in its entirety. And, like, it's just, it's
Tommy?
default to really... No,
It's
okay,
gotten
what?
late. I think I should get back home.
Okay, Harold. Sounds like a plan. Thanks for sharing a few drinks with this old grumbler. Get home safe.
How many of these 79 days do you think they're going to make us play through? He was definitely tipsy coming out of there. We just decided to skip over it at that point and know earlier, I suppose. Message? I wonder if Fishy's still dead. I don't. Almost certainly is. Yep, still dead. I want him to, like, wake up
What's up,
suddenly
Fishy?
and just spit
Long time
acid
no
on
see.
Harold. Is that bad?
Hope you're having fun, fishy dreams.
Oh, God.
Did I hear you just wheel? It's okay. It's okay. We're not gonna hurt
God.
you. God, of course they don't understand me. What can I use?
This feels like some...
A pineapple. A pineapple. No.
I'm just saying what I'm seeing.
Don't panic or die. Please. Just wait.
The way this character sounds and looks, it feels like there's some like weird
just Burroughs
missed the point reboot
I
of
can use.
Harold, what are
Hugh
you dithering
Bliss.
over?
Awake. He said Wii U.
What? They're awake and attempted to communicate?
Yes, I'm trying to tell them what's going on, but...
They seem to have fainted again. Harold?
It's not
you said
they've been in a
Wii.
coma.
Anything else?
And some skis. Skis, pineapple, notes. Professor, I've got it. Pineapple Helga the Mountaineer.
Harold?
What are you
feeling
talking
okay?
about?
Maybe it's something contagious after all.
No, Moreau. I could use a picture book to talk to Wii U. I mean, communicate with Fishy. I'm sure Chris will have some at the school.
Not a bad idea at all, Harold. I'll fetch some recording equipment too, in the meantime. We're going to need plenty of
No,
samples
I
if we're to
pitched it
decipher an
into a
alien
rat's
tongue.
face
What?
in a tunnel.
You can't take their tongue.
You klutz. I mean their language.
Okay, but what if they wake up again?
Life signs are stable, and I don't think they're going anywhere quite yet. Go
Ocean
on,
says,
go.
my idea of immediate ear-piercing screech would have been funnier. True, I think my idea of it just spitting Dilophosaurus acid in our face and killing the main character would also be pretty good, but I might be biased. Like, this is something that's like so obvious, I feel like it's difficult to articulate without making myself sound stupid. But like, so much of this game doesn't need to happen. Like, there's all this like back and forth of walking between the same 5 locations. Like, I get that this is effectively like a walking simulator, but like, with the stop motion animation, I feel like interactive movie is like more appropriate anyway. Definitely, I mean, we haven't seen everything yet, but like we definitely could have trimmed like hours off of this, right? Like, for whatever reason, we've just decided to like, movies function within like a 90 to like, you know, 2-hour time frame, but by cutting out the stuff that doesn't matter, more or less. I mean, like, you get a lot more story in by like skipping the stuff that like doesn't factor into the movie. So like, we could just see the important things happen and not have to just like constantly run back and forth between the same like 4 hallways and like do minuscule fetch quests for no value. Like, we could just like literally call the dude at the school and like tell him to bring something to the lab district, right? Be like, hey, bring me a book or whatever.
Enjoy the view.
I still think the fish is the best character.
Please exit the tube in an orderly manner.
Which is like a super bad sign for the game, in my opinion. By no means do I believe that Harold opened a door that hard.
Chris, I need some pictures.
That's so creepy.
Anything in particular? And you do know I'm not an art teacher.
I just need a book. A kid's book, like Pineapple Helga the Mountaineer.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Harold, but maybe you should be challenging yourself a bit.
Yes, I will. But I just need to relax. Please,
God,
Chris.
So sketchy.
Okay,
He's
Harold.
such a bad liar.
I'll bring you one later tonight when I'm done.
I feel like he has some like feat
really need it
where he
now.
just like naturally
Harold,
like he automatically
okay?
gets one anytime he
You
attempts
seem
to
so
deceive someone.
stressed. Maybe you do really need a nice book. Okay, I'll get you one now, but you'll have to watch the Bambinos while I'm gone, okay?
Yes, sure. Thank you, Chris. Thanks.
I think this is going to be the end. We're going to get a bad end when the children revolt and kill Harold.
Okay, Harold? No, whatever happens while I'm gone, just don't let them under your skin. Okay, Harold? Mustache. Don't let them bully you.
Chris, what? Wait.
Ciao,
They're definitely
Harold.
going to
Ciao,
bully him.
Bambinos. Don't cause them any trouble, okay?
Okay. Now, kids.
Are you a teacher? Where's Mr. Tinnabaum gone?
No,
You were present for the whole conversation, weird child.
Mr. Tinnabaum, a favor.
I have a question.
I'm probably not qualified, but I'll do my best.
Where do babies come from, Mr. Harold?
Just Harold is fine. And, they come from 2 people.
Like specific 2 people? Oh, this is a choice. I thought like it was like overlapping dialogue or something. This is we've done this like absolutely wrong. Like totally the best way to do this is exactly what Demolition's hinting at. Like I just naturally assumed, and I feel like I was sort of like teasing at it too, of like, you know, the teacher says like, oh, like don't let the kids like bully you or whatever, and then he like leaves. And then, like, the thing to do is, like, smash cut back to this room, like, being on fire, and Harold just, like, crying. Like, it should just be, like... We're not gonna have anything productive happen during this conversation. Like, there's no shot. So, like, either we gloss over it entirely or we make it a joke. There's just, like, no point in, like, playing this out earnestly. I have no idea why this is, like, choose a dialogue option when clearly it doesn't matter either. Yeah, no, definitely. We have to, whatever options we can choose to make Harold's life more difficult, for sure.
What? No, I don't mean the 2 people disappear.
I don't think that was the implication.
So, it could be any 2 people? I think it's like, 2 people grow you, and they give you to whoever's assigned to be parents?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the growing part, not the...
When will I grow up, Mr. Harold?
There are some really odd philosophical answers. They're also basically the same choice. Yeah, I feel like some other option would be better than this.
Felix, you'll grow up soon, but don't rush it. I mean, enjoy your youth while you...
Why aren't you a teacher?
For many reasons.
You see me trying to talk to children, it's terrible.
Why does flammable and inflammable mean the same thing?
Why do you even know that?
Teacher? You're a stranger, and I've always been told not to talk to strangers. Is today's lesson going to pick up from Cartesian dualism or move straight into Neoplatonism?
Everyone, please slow down. Okay, now, who wants to learn about filter maintenance?
Here you go, Harold.
Honestly, I was thinking the same thing, Demolition. I'm technically not allowed within 500 feet of his school, and I feel like it's after that incident earlier where we were, like, eavesdropping on the poetry contest or whatever.
Great! Everyone say ciao to Mr. Halibut.
Ciao, Mr. Halibut!
Professor whatever your name is? That guy was really sad, huh? Still can't interact with these, right? Because that would be, like, fun. I don't want to see if I could go talk to that weird guy in the shower again. I mean, this door is closed. That's the head of security's office or whatever. Oh. He's not showering anymore. Or is this, like, a weird... I kind of hear the shower. But, like, there's a person here that I can't talk to. That's weird, but okay, I guess. So, nothing interesting here either, I guess. But like, for real, that scene contributed nothing and took extra time to animate, and I guess script. There wasn't that much dialogue. Like, there was clearly an attempt at humor, but like, the jokes weren't very inspired. There wasn't like a whole lot of effort or punch to that. I feel like we would have been better off just skipping it. Shave another few minutes off the game. And like a ton of production time because of the stop motion animation. So I got the book. I guess I'm just going back.
Destination selected. Have a pleasant
Like,
journey.
clearly it was like meant to be funny. But like, I definitely feel like that's a case where like less is like super much more. Just like, all you gotta do is just like pan out to the hallway, watch the teacher walk away, come back. You could even like show like Harold like silently like miming distress or something in there, but you don't have to like get all detailed. I don't know. There's like so many better ways to do that. I could like pitch you like 10 better ways to do that than what was given. Okay. By no means do I think this is what's gonna happen, but I would absolutely love it if we went back in that room where Fishy is, and he just spoke, like, really eloquent English all of a sudden. Like, it just took that amount of time for us to go get the book, and once again, it was pointless, because that, I guess, is a theme of Harold's work. So we're just gonna go in there, and he's like, "Ah, hello, Harold."
Hello? They've gone back to sleep. Okay. Just stay calm, Harold. Radiate calm.
Radiate calm might be too much calm. That might be volatile.
Show them you're friendly. Start teaching an alien how to speak my language.
I guess he's doing the Dexter's Lab thing of assuming that the reading the audiobook will subconsciously imbue the language. Omelette du fromage. Omelette du fromage. God, that's a sloppy looking picture book. It feels like that's not very helpful for conveying language. I feel like you would want like clear, simple images. Also, anything that an Earth person can relate to is probably like not gonna match the experience of a fish person on an alien planet. Like, even just the concept of them like climbing a mountain's pretty weird, huh? Like, the concept of, like, the picture book working really only makes sense if we're trying to, like, convey sort of one-to-one of, like, oh, this is a person. That's the word person. You know, something, like, real basic like that. Just, like, reading a wordless book to the fish person, I don't feel like you're gonna get
Professor,
much traction.
I'm sure I'm starting to understand.
No need. The translation device is ready.
That makes none sense, you goon.
Okay, let's see. Does it work instantly? Will they understand exactly what I'm saying now?
Oh, I can understand you.
Oh my god, just shoot me in the head.
Ooh. So where am I?
What is this, Flash Season 7?
You're okay.
What are you?
Oh, you're on board the Fedora? It's a ship. We're from Earth. Well, the ship is.
Oh, sorry. What's a ship?
Oh, sorry. We're humans.
Well,
That's the answer to that question,
I see
you
you're
idiot.
getting along just fine together. I've got some things I need to take care of urgently.
What is the deal with this scientist lady? How did she not care about this at all? She, like, instantly created a translation device like she's, like, Cisco from CW's Flash, with just, like, no background information from scratch out of whole cloth. And then, like, stands here for 4 seconds. She's like, I'm so bored of this alien species. I'm gonna go do some paperwork or something. Like, what the crap? These characters are not human. They don't make any sense at all. Letters asked, are you much of a novel reader, Vasco? A book I really like that deals with linguistics communications is Alien in the Sparrow. I'm not typically much of a reader because I read very slowly with a high retention rate, which makes it very difficult for me to, like, try to casually try books. I kind of like need a really solid recommendation, but every now and then I could be convinced to read one. Aliens in the Sparrow. Aliens is the Sparrow? Oh, Communicating with Aliens is the Sparrow. Got it. Understood. Perhaps I will take that under advisement. Which is the fact that it's a 5-finger bipedal telescopic vision shows at some point someone really shagged a fish. I mean, that's probably all water's secret, right? Probably. Anyway, I had to do a hard pause because that made me completely insane. That makes no sense. I don't understand.
I'll leave you two to it until I'm back. Play nice.
I had so many questions.
Can you imagine a worse ambassador for the human race than Harold Halibut? They've been in a coma for like 9 days. I guess they're not used to standing, even though they have legs, which makes little sense. I have questions. I have toilet fish questions. Oh my god, he has the fish helping him do his chores? He already does so little. He's really gonna, like, subdivide that? Kronos, welcome to the stream. Story of your life is a great story for communicating with aliens. It's a short story, so much more palatable. Oh, okay, suddenly... What did we start at? 80-something. Like 20-some days passed? Sparrow is a story where Jesuits do a mission to space because they hear music on a distant planet. They send a team with many specialists, including the main character who's a linguist. That does sound really interesting. For some reason, it reminds me a little bit... There's like a plot point in The Expanse where it's not Jesuits, is it? It's some sort of religious group, like, commissions this enormous spaceship to be made so that they can, like, do a mission out in space, basically. And, like, that ends up being really important because they need a really big spaceship and some stuff happens. How's life, Kronos? I feel like it's been a minute. We're playing Harold Halibut. It's a cool stop-motion game that is light to occasionally medium on plot, and
it's a community based
many
around
questions.
the energy-giving properties of the particles. Ah, Harold, join us.
Hello, you two.
Hello.
Will you go on?
Yes. We get warmth in the air from them. And other things.
Like food? Materials?
Warmth in the air? You
And
live
where do the
underwater.
particles come from?
We aren't sure. There is a big glowing hole in the cave that feels very nice to be around, though.
Harold, you didn't tell me this earlier.
What?
Oh, Moreau. I didn't really tell him.
He wouldn't understand. He's very stupid.
Home, so I suppose no one thinks much about them.
Oy vey, we need to see this hole.
I'd love to see it too. But how do we get there? By the way, Professor, did you tell Wiyu what you told me about the particles?
I did. I suppose I owe Wiyu here a thank you.
My pleasure. I accept.
Wiyu, it's more like she means...
I mean, let's retire for tea. No great plan was ever made without it.
Good. It's been busy with the end of the school semester, but now that it's over, it's summer and relaxing. That's good. Glad to hear that.
Yes. Don't tell Cyrus. He's stressed enough as it is without worrying about me stealing from his herbarium.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to keep track of. Like, whatever is going on with all water.
Well, we don't know for sure.
We haven't learned
Only
anything
that
in
they're
20
hedging their
days. We're
bets
terrible
on
at
the
time
launch
management,
procedure,
even worse than
and
Vasco.
The CEO is acting strangely indeed.
Then there's the Light Keepers. What's their plan in all this?
Who knows? I'm wary, but at least they seem invested in the truth. And that means for now, they're on our side, whoever they are.
I guess so. Be nice if they stopped with the graffiti, though. What's the latest with our start procedure, by the way?
My. Tea does make you talkative. Cyrus is working hard. I'm sure he'll iron out the problems he's having. It's just whether he'll iron them out in time.
How do you feel about all this, Wiyu?
Great. So much is going on. It's very exciting.
And how about you, Harold?
I'm just relieved we could help Wiyu.
Yes, you two clearly have a special bond already.
Deep
what is
water.
bond?
It's something that keeps us close together.
Oh, okay. Are you holding it?
No, Wiyu, it's an invisible, emotional thing.
Great. Less to carry.
Wiyu, do you miss where you came from at all?
Not really. I'll go back eventually, and that's okay.
Well, I quite wondered if maybe you'd take Harold with you.
Me? To the cave?
Yes, to investigate the source of the particles.
How could she not want to do that herself?
But I can't just drop everything and people would notice me gone.
Oh my god, she's the... I hate this character. She's so annoying.
Don't worry, my boy. I'll be in close contact. And after all, haven't you been craving some adventure?
Oh, sure, but what if I get the adventure wrong?
You'll just be observing, taking readings, letting Wiyu show you how things work. You trust him, right, Wiyu?
Sure. There'll be lots of Flumilim to meet. Plenty of Malgaraha to see.
What are Flumilim?
Oh, that's a hard one to translate. It means things you can talk to. Like everyone back at the cave. But
it's basically
I suppose it
NPCs.
also means people like you.
Oh, so it's the name for your kind.
Well, it's all kinds. We've not needed any more detail before.
It's like
No one will mind if you
sentient
don't
being
call
or
them
something.
Flumilim.
Cool. It's just a bit confusing otherwise, don't you think?
Not for us. You all have so many classifications for everything. Even a person can be male or female. Now that's confusing.
I suppose that's true. So, do you not have, two kinds of person?
Not like how you're thinking. Don't worry about it. Just call us friends. Or our names.
Okay, will do.
Great. Then it's settled. Wiyu, you'll take Harold to explore the cave and meet the rest of the Flumilim.
I can't believe it's gonna be me that sees it all for the first time.
Yay. Oh, but I can swim. How will Howell come with me?
Ah, just follow me. I have a little something to show you both.
They call him Hawul. Yeah, the voice actor for Fish is doing some extremely heavy lifting. I'm gonna steal her stuff, I guess. Is to translate all things perfect but his name. And the concept of Flimalim. And presumably Wiyu's actual name. I doubt that they're called Wiyu by their own people. I like that they waited for us to get here to slowly crawl into the Jeffries tube. I understand we're really trying to show off our animation, but I do feel like we're belaboring the point a little. Seems like we could just have like a door to this room, huh? Not sure that apparatus adds anything to the experience. Ooh, gotta love that right on time reaction.
Jetsam, a little hobby project of mine. Used to be a space buggy meant for short-range planetary surface analysis. And now, it will be your means of visiting a very different kind of world.
It's amazing. I'll look after it, I promise.
Now, before you go, I've uploaded new firmware to your PDA.
Oh, what does it do?
Well, I developed an update to
I want
the
you to make
translation software
microtransactions.
based on your discussions with Wii U for use with the PDA, so you don't have to schlep that huge machine around.
Seems like something we could have brought
I
up
call it
earlier.
Omnicom. Also, you should both take one of these.
Where does this go?
In your ear.
It's a lens cap.
It's an earphone. It connects to the PDA, so you can have real-time translation. Plus, it allows me to stay in close contact with you.
Very
cool. I need to emphasize the fact that these people can barely wrap their heads around, like, calling someone else on the station. It almost never happens. But, like, we can just do this like it's not. We can casually invent a machine that translates an alien language we have no experience speaking or hearing or interpreting in any meaningful way in, like, what felt like an hour. Maybe was implied to be like a day. But like, yeah, we could do this. We can do this. We can't make a phone call. Outrageous. Truly outrageous.
And it'll work at long range?
It should
Yeah,
do.
probably.
I developed a super efficient transmitter.
It's called a plot device, Harold. Please stop asking questions. Get all the way off my back about it.
To help. It'll mean that whatever happens, you can stay in contact with me in some shape or form. And Harold?
Yes, Professor?
Do not lose it. Unlike that toaster, these aren't easily replaced.
I won't. I'll be careful. About everything.
That should be everything you need. Hop in. I'll be on the radio, and I'm sure you two will look after each other.
Wii U. Let's go visit your home. Thanks, Professor.
Good luck, you two, and have fun. For me.
We will.
It's really fortunate for everyone involved that Wii U is, like, entirely amphibious. Even though they seemed completely unaccustomed to standing on a solid, dry surface, that they have evolved to that purpose and can do that. The adventure begins. We're like 8 hours into this game or something.
This panel shows...
What happens if I push this?
Whoa, too fast!
This is fun.
Come on, stop swerving.
The, like,
Whoa,
utter
kill me
lack
if
of
I
sound
get your
effects
hobby
feels so
project.
awkward.
Oh. Seems like you're making it swim calmly now.
Yeah. Whew.
Oh, I actually have control.
Getting so less light. Less light means bad distance.
It's called dark. And yeah, getting very hard to see. I know. It's chilly.
It probably shouldn't be cold in the
how
pod,
did you
or
find your way to
we
the
shouldn't be
Fedora?
taking it down here, I think.
Wasn't easy.
Yeah, that's my reaction too, letters. Begins?
Don't like either. But once I had started, just wanted to see what there was. Had to keep going. Next thing I knew, very light. Less chilly. Lots of ow. Then you, shouting at me.
When you tell it like that, it doesn't sound like a great experience.
It wasn't, especially your
Well,
part.
I'm glad it was worth it, and that you kept going. On that note, how are we going to get to your place?
No worry, I can see.
What, in the dark?
Dark
No,
vision.
It's more like the right direction glows for me.
Oh, she's playing a more interesting
Everything
video
in the
game with like a
Fedora is
heads-up display.
signposted, so we don't even have to think about how to get somewhere. Glowing directions sound much more fun. So, you can direct me there?
Yep, I can see the way clearly.
And I'd better turn on the proximity sensors in the dark. I really don't want a lecture from Moreau. Okay, Wii U, you're the boss. Take us away.
There's really no benefit to giving me control for all that, I have to say. It doesn't do anything. Just another instance
We're
of
almost
fake
there now.
agency.
Be careful. The entrance tunnel is very narrow.
Okay, I think I see it.
Can I bump into it and die? Nope, it's implied that I piloted it perfectly, thus rendering that sub cutscene entirely pointless. Thank you. Thanks, thank you.
We're here? We're really here?
Yep, this is the place. Good job, Howl. Now we just have a short swim.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Very short. It'll be fine. Let's go.
Can he get his translator device wet? Did we make any effort to account for this? For some reason, I really want Wii U to, like, shake off like a dog. Why did I immediately start swallowing all the water?
Come on, Howl. It's not so hard.
Look, it's me trying to swim.
Land. Finally. Land.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm on land. Real alien land.
What do you mean? It's just a bit of rock. Come on up.
Yeah, but we've been sunk in your ocean for like 50 years, idiot.
So much rock. Real rock.
What is this game?
Slightly warm and...
Yes. Rock is okay. It's rock.
Wii U, it's just that the Fedora... It's all metal. It's not real ground. I've never walked on anything made of real rock before.
Okay. Would you like some?
What? I mean, sure, but thanks. Walking on it is kind of...
Then you could always have your foot on a rock.
Thanks, Wii U.
Soon. We'll get there.
Wow. We're nearly there. I can't quite believe it. There.
Where?
Wherever there is.
There's no there there.
Be there. It's so cool to finally be here. I still can't quite believe it. It's exciting not knowing what I'm gonna see next. It could be anything. And I'll be the first human to see whatever it is. And what...
Are you okay, Howl?
This is your home?
They should have sent a poet, or like literally anyone other than Harold Halibut.
Our place. Come on, we're not there yet. More to see.
There could be anything, even a boat. It could be a submarine.
Is the cave.
It's... Whoa. Magical. So much space. Wii U, what is everything?
This feels...
Where do you get food?
Kind of unnecessary.
How does everything work?
You'll see. One thing at a time.
I feel like we put like a lot more effort into this environment than my impression is would be appropriate? I don't know. Like, I don't know that it's necessary for us to be able to roam around in it even somewhat freely. Also, gotta say, once again, we've run into the circumstance of, like, because of this medium, we don't want to populate a bunch of extras, but, like, now this community seems, like, ridiculous. Oh, hi, you are a very different sort of creature.
Howl, I've got to take care of something, but I'll be back soon.
Oh, sure. Should I wait somewhere?
Yes, at the waiting bench.
Sounds cozy.
Hello. That means hi there.
I thought it might. Tell them I say hi back.
Will do.
The translator seems to be working. I don't know that this is necessary.
Cozy, Howl. Back soon.
Again, it doesn't make any sense for us to have a translator, but yeah, sure. Meow.
I wonder if it's polite to ignore people here. Maybe I should introduce myself. I don't want to get off on the wrong
Every time a new character appears, I'm hoping that their first line of dialogue to Harold is to cough, like, corrosive substance onto his face.
Is the translator not working? Let's see. Hello? Maybe it needs more calibrating.
Global. Come here often.
So, you come here often?
Global. Honestly, I think he's punking us.
This reminds me of one time I was waiting in the all-water reception office. I was stuck in there with Nellie Hootsalot for an hour, and let me tell you, she was not a lot of hoots.
Is that her given name? How about that weather?
How are you finding the weather in here?
Believable.
I think it's nice in here. Warm
Doesn't
but
really
not clammy.
Have
And
weather
no
per
sudden
se.
shocks when you change rooms.
Okay, again, that's not how you pronounce that word in British. It's draft. You can tell when the voice actor is not British and certain Britishisms are in the script. It's the second time someone's read that as drought, which is my inclination too as an American, but I know that to be wrong. What's cool and happening in the cave?
What's the latest news in the cave, then? Not too talkative, huh?
The fact that it doesn't seem to have eyelids for those, like, eye stalk eyeballs somehow really deeply concerns me.
Do you know Wii U?
Gorp or Norp.
I mean, I haven't known Wii U for that long, but I do feel like we get each other. Same wavelength, you know?
Has he asked Wii U if they have a concept for love around here?
So, what are you waiting for?
Borp.
Ah, that. Well, it was nice meeting you. And like Moreau always said, never say more than you need to. Air and time are more precious than extra words.
Oh no, he invoked a war ritual.
Oh, hi?
Oopa.
Oh, I'm Harold. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Oopa.
Ah, I'm sorry. It was an accident. I'm just clumsy sometimes.
No. Ruha.
Quick, spew acid on him. We're doing that music is everywhere concept. Let's see if I could do anything other than, like, bonk orbs, but that pretty much seems to be it. How long can this go on? As far as I could tell, there's no other thing to do. I could be mistaken. I don't know what it is, if there is. Can I just leave? Oh, I could just leave. That seems super rude, but yeah, okay. What is this game, by the way?
Oh, hello.
Did a check.
Ah, translator needs some more calibration, I think.
No, I think they were just saying they did a check.
Oh, hello.
Which is like a weird way to start a conversation.
Can't understand you.
Oh, am I talking too fast?
What's in the cave? Loud and slow as you want. Still talking nonsense to me.
Oh, right. Without an earpiece translator, it only works one way. I'll just be quiet, and maybe you'll happen to explain.
Wonder if you understand me. It's unusual. Lumbly gloop or anything else?
Oh, so I can lumley gloop here. Or...
Oh, you do know Lumbly.
Is he asking me for it, or offering?
No, Lumbly's like a person.
Sorry, don't know what else to say.
This booth is fascinating. But I think I better try it again with Wii U.
See, I kind of had interpreted the earpieces to be more like trying to communicate inside and outside of the like, my original impression was that we was gonna like swim and like we needed the submarine because we are not a fish person, and like that's why we needed earpieces. I mean, like the original machine, granted much larger, but like the PDA makes noise. It has some kind of speaker, and if it accepts input, it feels like it should be able to translate without the earpiece. Like, I thought an earpiece was like a combination of like communicating if we got separated, and like Professor What's-Her-Face said that she'd be able to talk to us from range or whatever. Oh, hang on. Can't talk to you because moving and that'd be too hard to program, sure. The monument to Whack-A-Mole, of course, we've all been here. Every city's got one. Is this like a bathhouse of sorts?
Hi. So, what are these things?
Lupo. What do you say?
Yeah, they're not going to be able to understand me.
It's supposed to be quiet here anyway. Just sit and glupo.
Wonder what glupo is.
Keep calm and glupo, that's what I always say.
In the nooks?
I don't know why you're talking in gibberish, but please, shh.
Oh.
Wow, they specifically have shh as a gesture. I think maybe the Squirtles have been here.
Hi there. Please be careful. It's all very sensitive still at the moment.
It's so weird. I would not have pegged any part of the game as having this, like, quasi-free roam, three-dimensional situation. It's like a lot going on here. Can't have more not conversations with this particular entity. There's something that's like inexplicably concerning to me about this part of the game. And I don't know how this is gonna come across, but like, it's opened up. This is a new environment. New stuff is happening. We've met an entire alien culture. And like, it really concerns me somehow in this weird way of like, it's kind of cool, I guess. I guess I feel a touch let down. I feel like if I expected the game to open up, it would like really grab me. And it's not that this is bad. It's just that like, it's got like still kind of like a similar like meandering pointless vibe to it. So it's like a lateral move with like more interesting visuals.
Thank you so much. Fish in a bubble.
That's sick, man. I think it just farted. Do I have drawings of these things? Oh, I have several drawings. Is there a way to, like, scroll through the drawings? I thought those were all going to the to-do list and not to the drawings. Man, we definitely could have sent, like, a sketch artist, huh? An alien culture that basically perfectly models humans but never met the giant spaceship that crash-landed over 50 years ago. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something that, like, in a personal way, I feel like annoys me about the fact that they're, like, casually, like, air-breathing bipedal amphibians. Oh boy. I have a bunch of messages from the station inexplicably. Harold, I'm a man of science and everything has an explanation. but have you experienced any ghost-like phenomena in the lab district recently? The other day, I'm sure I felt the presence sneak behind me. More corroborating evidence is needed. Here's our not-girlfriend. Hey, Harry, I was thinking about your alien fish friend. Clearly, you really care about them. You'd tell me more if it was more than a normal pet, right? Nah, we're not close. Chris. Harold, my man. Say, my protein snacks from the TV lounge seem to have been snacked on. You know those things aren't very good for you unless you're pumping iron, too. Unless, did you start working out? If you need a training buddy, you know who to ask. Not Chris. Okay, the professor? Harold. What's with all the brightly colored crumbs in the lab table? Did the two of you stay up late again? I can't work with this mess. Get with the cleaning. And Shia, who I've already forgotten who they are. Hey, Harold. No, you must be busy. No worries. Just wondered if you'd seen my message. Just wanted to run my new book idea by you. I don't know who this is.
Oh. Hello there, little ones.
Yes, come on, this way.
Quick, spit acid.
Follow us for tick-tickety.
Tick-tickety. Now, is that more like a chimney or like a chitty bang bang, would you say? I like that was a task. Completed follow them like 4 feet behind where they were standing. Wow. Quick, shove his face in it. It's the only way he'll learn. His arms went like super weirdly noodle limp. It's a weird alien maypole. It's a maypole for Tai Chi.
Like this?
I must rotieren das Sprecht. Are we grinding up those blue quern crystals from the game Quern Undying Thoughts?
Oh gosh, I hope I'm not being super rude somehow.
Traditionally, one does this without their pants on. Other than that, you're doing alright. I think they're doing the fusion dance from Dragon Ball Z. Oh, they like literally are. They're actually doing that. Now touch fingers. That's literally the fusion dance from Dragon Ball Z. What's wrong with you?
If I just copy them, how bad can it be?
Why does that work? Exactly. Fusion! Ha! You just married those two children, you creep.
Oh no, am I... Are they... Is this...
Is it what? What do you think is happening?
Such a great question.
Getting a greeting ritual badly wrong?
No. You're just playing around with those cheeky kids. I think they love you now.
What? So I'm not offending everyone?
Well, you're not exactly being polite. But I think everyone is pleased to laugh at the funny alien.
Hang on. Do you remember Pineapple Helga?
Of course. Such pointy hair. And lovely long shoes.
Is it like when the
These aliens don't even
mini-yetis
have
did the
shoes.
snowball dance?
Yes. They would have kept on doing the tickety anyway, but they were glad to have someone new to show it to.
Okay, I think I get it. I think I'm beginning to understand a bit about how you all think.
Yes, you'll get there. Just like when Helga has to imitate a seal to get to the ice cave.
Darmok and Jalad at Tanaga.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
I'm really concerned about that ritual being a marriage or something.
Are you sure that ritual didn't mean anything?
It's going to be a lot easier if I just show you around before trying to answer. Come on.
Oh, sweet, we get to go back to the farting fish bubble guy. That one was my favorite.
Oh there. Little chick. Hi. Could you give my friend here a little something? Sure. A blooper will be okay. Here you go.
Will you?
No. Give him the blooper doop.
Thanks, Wii This one looks much better.
I'm pretty sure it's the same model of fish.
Go on to do...
You're right, that answer wasn't yes, it was definitely
Right
nothing.
there. Great.
Is that taffy or a jump rope? I like the idea of this, of like wandering through an alien civilization without context and then someone like contextualizing all the weird stuff you did. I don't think we're gonna stick the landing, but I think that idea is really fun.
Now watch.
Oh, trust me, I will.
So we tie the Koizi like so, and
then they're gonna hang Harold.
Then bubblefish.
Wow, that's how you fish?
Yep, bubblefish.
Oh, but, I mean, isn't it a bit weird that you...
What is weird?
You spend a fish to
never
get a
mind.
fish. That doesn't seem like a great
So,
return on investment.
I have a question.
Also...
And I have an answer.
But you don't know what the...
It's Tidemo.
Not this time, it's not.
Oh,
I don't
crap,
get the
no, it's
purpose of
Tidemo. I was
using a
just- I was
fish to make a rope to then catch another fish with?
Aha.
You can see why, right?
Yes, but things just work like that here.
This such
It's
not an
always
explanation.
how it looks.
So what is going on?
How to explain? Things work in cycles. Maybe having a fish isn't the same as getting
A fish in the bush is not equal to a fish in the hand.
Something into something else.
Also,
it's not just the old thing.
the fact that the earpiece is just stapled onto the side of her head is really interesting. Sorry,
We
there.
call it the Newman. It is a something
Newman.
that is nothing, but it's important to have.
Right. So something is
I don't
also
really understand
nothing,
that, to be honest.
And nothing can be a something?
Tidemo. Just like I said.
Got him. It was Tidemo all along. I knew it. Oh, I can't run while following her because I guess it would break the game. Them, sorry. The female voice actor is throwing me off. It was easier to think of them as them before hearing the voice actress.
Ah, what's this one?
Well, the Zoop Soup, yes. Are you hungry?
I'm a bit peckish, yeah. Is there somewhere nearby?
Bubblefish.
Yes, you see.
What's happening now?
Well, it's... the result is Lumberly Gloob.
Oh.
The result is Lumberly Gloob, of course.
Very tasty. Let's enjoy.
Oh, I will. But shouldn't we pay or something?
Dadachum. No, we don't really pay here.
The food is free?
This is closer to post-scarcity than our ship.
Because it's all free. We help each other, and eventually it all evens out.
It'd be so fun anyway if he was like, ugh, socialism, and then just like
That's such a simple system.
started a fight or something.
Did a chick. Glad to see you enjoy. Always good to did a chick with a new limb.
Oh, I'm not actually a fish. I'm human.
By the way, he's saying he's a human. Fish, human, lumberly gloop.
I see. Thanks. I can't wait to try it. Bye.
Blasted commies, combat system begins. That would be so funny too, to just suddenly have a combat system at this point in the game.
Delicious.
Yes.
The adventure
Because
begins
of
at
the
hour
minerals in the
9.
pond. And the blah 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 blah. And then
You yada yada'd over the best part. The lumberly glue.
What? Yes.
Sorry, I dissociated a bit. I think this is poison for humans.
Oh, are you okay?
Oh, sorry, Wii. I zoned out, but I'm super okay. There's just so much that is so new. It's a bit overwhelming.
Malgaraha.
Was that a yawn or a fishy word?
Oh, I thought you were watching the... Well, it's like the way the light reflects from the ripples in the clear water on the cave walls and reminds you of a good time with a friend.
A bit like now?
Precisely.
That sounds like one of those really
I see what you
specific,
mean.
like, German or Danish
Beautiful.
words.
I see something similar in the herbarium sometimes, but
like Higa or
I
whatever.
never really had anyone to share it with.
This is what friends are for.
It's so crazy here, Wii. Amazing, but so different. It's pretty cool that we can understand each other at least.
Yes, I think so. But maybe you can't understand a lot of our things.
I'm very
and
simple.
You understand everything human?
Well, yes. Humans are so unpredictable and complicated. There is almost nothing to understand.
That seems like a preposterous thing to say.
The all-water tube system?
I was going to say fizzy bubbles, but okay.
And so, you really don't have money here?
No. Okay, that's the one thing I really don't get about humans.
Well, it's just a trade thing, but you can trade really easily with it.
But some people have more than others. Why is that?
Some people are
Because
more
they're being
important.
rewarded by God or
Remind me
something
what is
ridiculous.
Important.
Take Moreau. She's cleverer than anyone. We all need her science.
Ah, but her science wouldn't mean anything without everyone else to use it.
This is making my head hurt.
Then let's
No,
go.
that was...
Next part of the tour.
No, we were on the verge of causing understanding to happen. Could have been like, yes, exactly, and that's why our system is sort of like... It has a quantified system of valuing these things.
Okay, Wii, so what is this place? I
Pyramid.
really couldn't figure it out.
It's a library.
What? There aren't any books.
Not books. Osmosbo.
I'm gonna need a
Osmosbo.
bit more of a translation.
No, you got it.
Okay. It's just that... So... Osmose is... just knowing. That's the best I can do. And Osmosbo are those jellies. You can just know through them.
Wow. So
It sounds like
it's like a book you don't
some
have
part
to
of like
read.
an Eldritch horror thing.
Yes, but I don't really know how they...
It will cause you stress damage to
I mean,
engage with them. You will
how
learn
to
unknowable
explain how
things
they
that should
work.
not be learned.
Okay, cool. So
That's nothing for us to worry about. Come on, more to see.
That sounds so interesting, and they're just like, nah. Better go, like, touch some poles or whatever. Yeah, I know Kung Fu. Need someone to fly this helicopter.
So
Osmosbo.
what are they doing?
Aha. Just wait.
They're building something? Oh, or
Yeah,
maybe it's gonna
Jackie,
be a kind of
I
game.
think Osmosbo is definitely derived from osmosis. More direct than a lot of these other alien words.
What an amazing sound.
The quest to find the new
Nice,
sound?
Isn't it? I call it thrum.
The song or the style of music?
Well, neither really.
Hey, wait, that fish
The
person
way
does
you
have
make
boots.
music is more
I think.
in the moment.
So they don't practice? Is it
It's
a
like
jam?
jazz.
I thought jam was for your toast.
Yes.
Humans are complicated.
But it's also the word we use for when music is improvised, like made up there.
It's the dress a big bubble. It hasn't clearly been established.
That with people watching.
I kind of thought it was part of their body until very recently.
Whatever.
Now
it
I
is,
think maybe
love
it's
it.
akin to a dress
I
or
love
clothing or
jam.
something.
I wish we'd brought some.
Harold, are you there?
I actually totally agree, Letters. I actually like the fourth Matrix movie a lot more than I expected to. It's not perfect, but like, I feel like it accomplished what I wanted it to, and was fun to watch.
I'm quite sure there is. But may I remind you, you're not there on holiday.
Ah, I know. The particles. I'll get right on it. Speak to you soon, Professor.
Good luck, Harold. Don't do anything I would do.
Over and out.
Is this the
That
fifth
was
Matrix
Moreau,
movie?
reminding us to check
Makes
out the
about as much
particles.
sense as the third one.
Yes. Right this way.
Should I be concerned that the one fish creature that's wearing go-go boots is also working the pole? Am I overthinking this or underthinking it? I still can't get over the fact that this scientist, like, doesn't give a crap about these amazing, like, breakthroughs in, like, scientific discoveries of, like, going to this alien culture or, like, translating that language or, like, communicating with an alien for the first time. She's just like, I got, like, paper, I got stuff to do. Can't take a day off work. She's worse than I am. Not only he's taking time off to go see Sophie Ellis Bextor, I got my priorities straight, man. Find the source of the end of this line.
Here we are.
Did the alien learn English from being on the ship? Nah, the scientist just like spent 5 minutes and made a device that perfectly translated the alien language. Very satisfying, right, Jakey? We didn't have to like learn or do anything. She's just like, yeah, I figured it out. It genuinely annoys me. I'm very annoyed about
What happened to
it.
the other Flumelum that tried to go down there?
Dead.
Others? What do you mean?
Well, hasn't anyone tried going down there before?
Yeah, universal translator, but like with no
It's just
previous basis for understanding the language whatsoever.
we know the particles can be used for energy. They come up. Why would we go down?
To find out what's down there. Maybe you could bring up loads of particles at once.
But we don't need more particles at once.
Wow, okay. So, it's never been explored?
Well, I suppose there was that one.
Send in
Flumelum
Hoshi.
kid
I
who-
understand that reference. Barely.
And what did they say?
Not much. He never came back.
Super dead.
We assume he's happy down there.
We assume he's happy down there.
Now that I think about it, there was one.
We barely
older
understand the
Flumelum
concept
who
of
went
death.
or fell down. Maybe they're still down there together.
Okay. I think I'm gonna call Moreau now. How do
On
you
my
work this
OG
thing?
Game Boy.
Harold, is that you?
Oh, hi, Professor. How are you doing?
What? Don't ask me. Have you found the particles?
Why does she suddenly care?
Wii says hi, by the way.
Oh my god,
And
I'll
yes,
kill you,
we
Harold.
found them. They're coming from a giant hole in the ground.
A hole? Can you get down there?
Well, Wii says a couple of Flumelum have been down before, but they never came back. It looks kinda deep.
Is the plot of this game going to be Harold Halibut ruining the civilization? It does feel that way, yes.
Thing there with more information on the hole.
They're like an
is a
idyllic,
kind of
sort of
library,
communist fish
but
society, and we're gonna like
Or there isn't. What's
destroy
the
their
problem?
ecosystem
It's
for a
just
personal
that the
gain.
books are jelly.
So, go to the library.
No, that's the
I don't care
library.
if the books are jelly or custard. Find some information on it you can bring back.
Okay, Professor. Wish me luck.
Don't explore the crack, you'll break your mother's back or something. Harold Halibut goes into a hole is the new plot. Kind of? We're working our way up to it. it's I don't know how to put this. It's kind of a shame. There's like some cool stuff going on here to like couple together with the cool stop motion style in general, but like the pacing still kind of sucks, and like the plot is still kind of like not happening. Like I do feel like it's an improvement, but I guess my earlier comment about it being like concerning or disappointing is just that like it's not as much like it's not. We get that trophy that says like the adventure begins, and like in a way that sort of suggests like, and now everything's different, and like it is on the surface, but it's like kind of the same thing we've been doing, right? Like,
hello again, librarian. I was wondering, do you have any jellies on the crack with the particles?
What did you say to me?
What are you saying? Oh, he's new. He says,
yeah, Jiggy says, I think they had a vision with the art and the story as secondary. I said something to that effect earlier, where I feel like there was not a ton of communication between the visual and story teams.
So,
because like visuals, a lot of care applied, story not.
Hard to explain, but just hold one close to your head and be calm, and not try too hard. A bit like how memories work.
Okay. Is there any way to know what each jelly is about?
Just give any of them a go. I'm sure they're all full of great stuff.
Only some of them will give you like a rash.
Yeah. It didn't like being red. Wii, can you show me?
It's definitely more fun to watch you get electrocuted several times.
I'd love to, but Moreau is probably getting antsy. I think we'd better get back to her before she gets annoyed and puts me on shelf duty again. So, Wii, how do I read these things?
Howl. Actually, I can't.
Wii is illiterate?
It's hard to explain. I'll just watch.
Read. I can't understand the jellies.
What? But you explained it to me.
It's so hard for me to understand the gravity of this.
The theory.
Oh, that's okay. You know, I'm not great with human books.
I lied before about that picture book. It's about my reading level.
Can I just encourage you? Breathe deep. When your mind feels empty, stick your nose into it and remember what's in the jelly.
Sure thing. We'll figure it out together.
God, I hope he just keeps getting electrocuted. Was that a jelly about dessert? I saw like pancakes and ice cream, and some of this I can't quite read. But like this is very like Earth.
What was that all about? Doesn't seem like this one tells us anything useful.
That didn't seem like it belonged in this culture at all. Is that like relevant or just like weird? Fish. I mean, again, they're earth fish. I don't hate the idea of using like actual footage.
That was wild.
To convey something alien to like
to the crack at all.
To like the stop motion context of the world or whatever. What about the big circle? Does that not have a hitbox? I feel like I saw the cursor highlight something here. Oh no, it's like an actual like visual glitch. Okay. That's interesting. Letters is suggesting that it's like a Planet of the Apes situation, but fish people took over the Earth. I mean, we're supposed to have left Earth, traveled through space, and crash landed on an alien planet. It could be one of those weird, like, Twilight Zone style things where we just got disoriented and landed back where we started.
Nothing about the crack.
It actually, you know what? It's actually very much like WALL-E, where like, you know, the movie takes place in the future, and when they see like footage of Earth from like before its ecological disaster, it's like actual live footage.
That was... wow. But I don't think it's the one I'm looking for.
I like how like neither of us understood the concept of like reading the wall, and now we're just like doing it over and over effortlessly. Yeah, I was thinking that too, Katane. Like maybe it's not that these things are literally from Earth, but it's evoking familiar concepts to the person. Like it could be almost as though the like concepts are stored in the jellies and they react to your own experience, which is why they refer to them like memories. But like, I don't know, this game is like weird and has conspiracy theories, so like I could definitely see it being like a deliberate choice. Okay, the game is like actually a little broken right now. A horse? No one can draw that. Not even with all our scientific advancements.
This one definitely has some interesting stuff about the crack.
Hey, everyone see that viral Wheel of Fortune clip going around about that guy who tried to solve a puzzle by just shouting right in the butt, and everyone's like, no, that's obviously not the solution to a Wheel of Fortune puzzle.
Ah, okay. Excuse me, librarian?
Me?
Could I possibly take a a jelly?
He says he wants a jelly. You may, but you will have to treat it with utmost care.
Why would you trust this strange creature?
Vessel to transport it in.
Oh, okay. And where might one?
He asks where to find
Randomly
such a
clicking
vessel.
got us progress. I think I went through basically
Begin
every
by
possible option.
asking around town, in case.
Wait.
Oh wait, never mind. Looks like I've
Why
got
do
one
they
for you
have
here.
that generic smiley face shopping bag?
He says
That's
thanks.
very confusing.
Well, I got that part. Bye.
Wait, I get that was a joke, but like, was it also important? I don't understand.
Professor, I managed to find a jelly that...
Harold, what did we discuss about you not being on holiday?
No, Professor, the books here are jellies. You have to... Well, anyway, I found one, and I had to kind of sniff it, and I have info on the crack.
Ah, he sniffed the crack? Come
You're
on.
excited, but please can you stop talking such nonsense?
I'm not.
Oh my god, what do you mean? You have no context for what he's doing. Why are you assuming?
Just bring the thing back and we'll try to make sense of it.
I mean, I guess she has every right to assume that he's a failure.
It's getting late. Let's go to my place to relax.
That sounds fun, but how
How
do you know what time it is?
Can't you feel the magnetics?
The what? Feel how?
Oh.
Feel it,
Well,
feel the vibration.
The slight changes in the glow, combined with the slight heaviness we feel in our toes, because of the lateness.
Okay, I mean, that's crazy cool, but I don't think it's going to apply to us humans anytime soon.
Shame.
It's so good to have magnetically heavy
Feel
toes or whatever.
It's tea time. Come on.
Yeah, the plastic bag, in addition to the Earth memories, definitely makes me think it's more like deliberate style choice than the sort of clever subversion of the idea of communication. Like, I had sort of ruled that out for myself just because it felt like giving the game a lot of credit, but like, it definitely could have been that. The plastic bag definitely, though, feels like something along the lines of Letter's supposition about Planet of the Apes, that like we've been on Earth all along.
Meet
They blew it up.
Ahoy there, Nautilo.
These dang dirty
Nice
fish.
flowers.
He says hello, and he likes your flowers. Thanks, but they're not flowers. They're more like sponges with a hard lower root. They need water, but if they're underwater, they're not sponge anymore.
Alright, I'm too stupid for that. You have a nice day.
I think they're great. Enjoy.
He's impressed. And
Why can't the
he
other fish
says
people
he
understand
hopes you
Harold?
continue to
A
gain
plot
pleasure or
contrivance.
satisfaction from your continued interactions with them.
He said all that.
Yes. Sorry, this translation business is confusing.
Basically, the
Thanks,
scientist
Wii U.
lady set up his PDA to translate,
Come in.
but it will only, like, output translation
Nice
into these
place.
earpieces that we and this
My
yellowfish
home
have.
is your home. Take a look around.
Is this coral?
Yep. I found it when exploring outside the cave. Like they'd probably say I shouldn't.
Why would they say that?
We're supposed to be happy with everything here. And I am. It's really swell.
But
I think that it's also swell to see other swell things outside
I
of
feel like
the
normally
cave.
this trope is sort
No
of
one
like
else ever
explorers from
leaves.
two different cultures,
I don't think so.
like,
Wouldn't
find
it be
meaning in each
sad
other,
if
but
we'd
like
never
Harold's
met?
such like a
of
nothing.
course, it'd be. I don't even want to think about it. Mind you, I don't want to think about how we met either. And what is this?
What does that mean?
That's Juno.
Yeah, there's like a human shoe back
skull?
there.
It's a friend.
Must make for one-sided conversation, but okay.
You should say hi.
Wait there, Juna. Is that a sneaker?
Sneaker. Is
I think it's a
what
dingle
called?
hopper.
I've been wondering for ages. It's what made me want to.
Are they gonna
explore
fall in love?
further.
I want to make a reference, but it'll take too
wanted to
long while
know
there's
where it came
active
from.
dialogue in the game.
Yeah, it's a sneaker. You wear it on your, well, not your feet.
They have feet. Someone here was wearing shoes.
Do you want it back?
I don't mean it's mine. Did you show it to anyone else?
No.
The shoe is
They
dangerous.
wouldn't even have cared. For them, nothing exists beyond the cave.
But where did they come from?
Is this a Plato allegory?
Long ago, from far away. Sometimes we need to get into the waters just outside, but never to go far. They just sit around and stay happy.
I mean, that doesn't sound so bad.
I know. But once you know there's more, happy.
I wonder how
isn't the
deliberate
same,
the
is it?
parallels to the Little Mermaid are.
I guess I haven't been happy for a while.
Down to like collecting human
But I
garbage.
guess I can be quite good at calm.
Is calm nice? I think no calm is the reason I'm no good with the jellies.
I have
Yeah.
no chill.
I don't think about it too much. You just have to think, what does it matter?
What does what matter?
No matter, no what.
Ah, I see.
Calm is not all the time, but when you sit and forget about yourself.
So, I forget I'm Wii? But what if I don't remember again?
Then you're
I
as
can't
dumb
say
as
I've ever
me.
had that problem.
Thanks, Hau. I think I can try calm much better now.
This has been a pretty crazy day.
Yes, let's end it and regain consciousness in a new one.
Yeah.
That feels like a
Sounds
thing I
good.
would say because I'm weird.
Night, Wii U.
Don't got blankets or nothing, and this weird gardener's just gonna watch us lose consciousness? Interesting that, like,
Wakey, wakey, Howl.
their magnetic field or whatever
Morning, Wii U. Well,
would have them
you
go
probably
to
don't
sleep in
have
something
mornings, do you?
equaling our birthday or whatever.
Not like on the Fedora, but there is still a right time to get up.
How long have you been awake?
A little while, but then I had a wander around and a nap.
That sounds like kind of a
Did you
while.
sleep well?
Yeah, surprisingly well. Feels so peaceful here.
Wondering if this should have been a movie. Oh yeah, we've been talking about
clanging
the
on the
nature of
ship.
this game and its gameplay a lot.
Anyway, come on. Submarine time.
I think we're gonna call it there just by nature of, like, it can take a really long time to find a good stopping point again, and in this new phase of the game, the quantity of run-on cutscenes has increased dramatically. but it's interesting. Like, I mean, I'm not entirely sure why this is a video game. I mean, it may be that they scripted out what they wanted to tell, and it's obviously way too long to be a movie, and rather than, like, cut it down to the interesting bits like we were sort of talking about before, we just decided, well, like, hey, you can make a video game whatever length you want. And, like, sometimes people like video games that are basically movies. I don't know. I don't know what the intention is. I would actually be, like, curious to know more about it. Like, there's some core ideas here, but, like, it feels to me more like this was developed more than it was written. By which I mean, we actually talked a little bit about the concept of, like, TV development last week on our Too Much Talking stream. But, like, you know, in Hollywood, sometimes, like, an idea is created that we haven't, like, fully thought through or, like, made a script for. Like, someone has an idea that they think is really good for a TV show, and they'll, like, pitch that to some, like, businessmen, and those people's job is to sort of get funding for it and to, like, find someone to turn that idea into, like, an actual TV or movie script or whatever. And so, like, it feels like we have a cool idea here of, you know, this ship left Earth because of some ecological crisis, again, very Wall-E, and they traveled for some time and they found themselves in, like, an alien environment, and they've existed there for a long time, and, like, all of a sudden they maybe have the means to escape, and what does that look like? But, like, the world doesn't feel super lived in, partially because there's so few people on this ship that, again, feels like it should be, like, super ridiculously crowded. And also just by nature of the fact that it feels like we didn't think through a lot of the details that would make it seem more sincerely like this was like an actual world that people lived in that sense of, like, there are ways that human beings would go about, like, solving problems or, you know, adapting to certain circumstances, and it feels like very little care is paid to trying to, like, convey that or something. I don't know. I continue to have, like, really, like, conflicted things. I mean, like, characterization is a big problem for sure. In that, like, I mean, going off the earlier discussion too of the fact that, like, there's just not a lot of, like, characters driving story by, like, having interests or motivation or characteristics, personalities, frankly. Yeah, like, nobody's likable, but, like, nobody's, like, human. Like, honestly, like, Wii is probably the most human character, which is insane because they're literally an alien fish creature. Like, their whole purpose in the story is to be not human, and they, of all the characters, feel the most human. Just by nature of the fact that, like, a big part of their story is, like, reacting to things, which means that they have to have some consistent basis of, like, knowledge and experience, and to a much lesser extent, just, like, a motivation of, like, they are curious about what's outside the cave in a way that the rest of their culture isn't. Like, that's already, like, more personality than basically anyone on the Fedora has. No, like, I don't, like, this comes off to me like a really bloated passion project. Like, someone, in some capacity, someone wanted to make a cool science fiction stop motion project, and they, like, just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote, and then just somehow got funding, and, like, just no one second guessed anything or contributed any additional thoughts or whatever. And, like, it was by someone who's, like, maybe not super in tune with, like, storytelling or even maybe their own emotions to a lesser extent. Game Pass, so they probably got funding there. I honestly haven't researched much about the background of the game, and at some point I do want to do that. But it's just so weird. like video game feels like a weird medium for it because there's so little gameplay. And like on this channel, I play a ton of games that are like heavily narratively focused and light on gameplay mechanics. So it's not like I'm saying like, I don't understand how you can do a game that's not like a first-person shooter or like constant nonstop action or something. But like, you know, adventure games just have these like little logic puzzles that sort of ask you to be like, how do you think that you could solve the problem that the hero is facing based on what you see in front of you? Or, you know, you can just do like the like Telltale Walking Dead or, you know, Heavy Rain style thing where you're mostly watching a movie and it's kind of written like a movie, and like some of your decisions affect the end fate of some of the characters or something like that. But like, as far as we've seen so far, like every choice that we've been able to make has seemed like deliberately like it has no function. So we just like coded like a choice system into the game that has no meaning. Weird, but okay. And then, you know, like we spent like days upon days of like gameplay, just like wandering back and forth, like delivering messages like it's the Wild West and we had to like deliver a message like the Pony Express or something. Like they literally have phones. It's established they have phones. We've seen people get phone calls, and yet like a ton of our gameplay has been to like walk around and just like tell people something that could have been an email or in a more literal sense a phone call, but like you get what I mean. It's so weird. Like it feels like there's passion, and yet there's somehow a lack of emotion, and also just like a lack of like vision or real guidance. Like there's something cool at the crux of this, and it just, we didn't like find it, or we haven't so far. Harold needs a job to fit into society, but like I'm not entirely sure how you mean that, Jakey, but like what I'm thinking is sort of like it would go a decent distance towards like characterizing this absolute nobody of a character that's Harold Halibut to give him a job that means something to him as a character. Like he has a profession sort of, but it's like really confusing. It's not clear. They live in a capitalist society, but he performs this really vague function. But like he already, just like his personality is so nothing. For him to just like care about his job at all would like give me something, you know? I mean, the pacing is like, I think pretty objectively the pacing is problematic. Like again, it's not even that like it has to be nonstop action, but like I don't actually get the sense that the game was made this way as some kind of commentary. Like at points it feels like maybe that was intentional, but like it's not saying anything clear in my opinion. And if that's not the case, then like it's not necessary for us to like walk around like delivering sticky notes or whatever. Like we can just like cut out the middleman. We can like make some phone calls and then have the cutscene sort of happen when people convene and there's something to talk about or something. But like, yeah, I mean, I know there's like there's some instinct to react to this like it's an insult or something, but I'm inclined to agree with this. A couple people in chat have suggested that like Harold comes across as like kind of autistic in some way, and like there are elements of the script that feel like they're written by someone neurodivergent, like sincerely, like not trying to be like snarky or critical in that way, but like again, like emotions feel really out of touch for like a lot of the characters in this game. So like if the story was created by someone who was autistic, it would make a lot of sense. Cause like it's not just that Harold is presented as one autistic character. It's that like everyone feels disconnected from their emotions in a way that feels unnatural and even uncomfortable, but like again without really like saying anything or like making a commentary that's sort of like, oh, human emotion is weird for this reason, or like something about the human experience. It just kind of feels like all these people are not human, and like maybe at some point we'll reach some like fulcrum of like it's all an allegory and the humans aren't human because the fish are the good guys and the humans are colonizing them to steal their glow bacteria or whatever. I don't know. But like there's something weird too. There's like a weird undercurrent of like, in particular to me, the relationship between Harold and Sunny, where like he had like a romantic relationship with Sunny and like he was fine with the fact that it was in the past or whatever. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, he has to talk to her again to help Wiu when they were still an unconscious fish known as Fishy. And, you know, like, he's, like, trying to convey his emotions to Wiu, but, like, Wiu is not talking to him because Wiu is unconscious. But, like, he seems upset that she just, like, asks him things about himself. And then, like, somehow he still ends up, like, kind of trying to rekindle that relationship. But, like, why does she care about him? Why did the relationship end? Why does he kind of want it back? And, like, I don't think we're gonna get clear answers to that. There's, like, a lot of things I don't expect us to get clear answers about. It's just, it's just... I don't know how to explain it. I mean, there's certainly, like, a difference in fiction that is, like, really carefully thought out and everything feels like organic to the world that's created and whatever. And I mean, we're certainly not there with this, but like, I don't know. I've seen weirder in a way. I don't know. I just don't know. It says, credits are weird. 4 people, studio founders, came up with the story, but there's a words by section made up by someone entirely different. That actually doesn't surprise me at all. Like, even though I feel like there's more harmony between the story and the dialogue, there does feel like a disconnect there as well. It's not as pronounced as the chasm between, like, story and gameplay. I just don't know where it's going. I'm torn. I think I'm still inclined to keep trying to play through this, but like I have like a weird emotional response to this game of like, I feel like I'm already at a point where I have very little hope that the game will improve significantly. Like, definitely a little bit disheartened by the transition to this stage of the game and how it ends up somehow still feeling very similar to like the early parts of the game. But, like, I do kind of want to see it through and see if it is making a statement or if we get answers to some of these questions. So we should suggest playthrough to get to the plot and, like, raid code. I like how subtly we've gone from people in, like, a grim joking sense suggesting that we play the DLC for Raincode to like everyone having a minute to breathe and be like, let's not speak of Raincode again unless we're making fun of it. Is this better or worse than Raincode? I mean, it's apples and oranges to the sense that like there's more gameplay to Raincode, but that gameplay is like actively pretty frustrating. Also, Raincode like has some pretty significant pacing issues, and its story is more aggressively bad. Like, I would say that, like, Harold Halibut is sort of passive-aggressively not good, whereas Raincode was, like, actively frustrating and bad. Like, both of them have potential that is unrealized. I feel like Raincode was simultaneously a lot closer to being, like, a interesting story told reasonably, but like somehow like actively made choices to undercut its own effort to do that, whereas Harold Halibut just like didn't get there in the first place. It doesn't feel like it's actively making an effort to be worse. It just kind of feels misguided. Like a lot of the people involved in the process, like, I don't know if it's like the first video game a lot of them have worked on. Some snarky part of me wants to be like, I'm not sure if it's the first video game they've ever seen before. But like, there are pros and cons to both. Neither one, I think, is like a particularly good game in its own right, but like they both have their own strengths and particularly weaknesses. None of the 4 founders have worked on a game before. Yeah, that's not extremely surprising. I don't know. It's so interesting. I mean, if nothing else, I feel like the interesting factor of trying to like comprehend what Harold Halibut is probably drives me to keep playing it, but it's so weird. It's just so strange. It's just, I mean, part of it is just like, I mean, maybe there's some level of cynicism on my part of like, I've been part of this Steam console video game as a business system for so long that like it's hard for me to like conceive of this game that feels like it borrows nothing from like other video games of its genre. Like these days, I'm so much more used to people being like, like roguelikes have been popular. Like I really like Slay the Spire. This has like a lot of elements of Slay the Spire, but some other stuff that makes it unique or whatever. And like this game manages to be really unique, but like it also sort of fails to be like any game that like immediately feels like it's worth playing. And again, like there's like an interesting experience to this game, but like there's nothing about the game that's sort of like, oh man, you should check this out because XYZ. It's just sort of like, do you want to see like a cool stop motion project that's like super wonked up? Jakey says he'd love to see my sister analyze this game. I would. Honestly, I would love to see my sister analyze Quern, but I think she would explode because Quern is so... Quern's like user experience team were like actual like movie monsters or something. They were like the Wolfman and Dracula and like the Swamp Thing. Like they feed on humanity or something. They were not chill people. We talk about how the ship was drawn to be in a giant water droplet with the rock in the center. Now, granted, I think that was only referenced in the air conditioning man's snake oil sales pitch. So, like, that could just be his concept of what it's like for the spaceship to be underwater. I'm still thrown by the fact that we went many in-game hours without an explanation of, like, the distinction between the Fedora 1 and Fedora 2, which technically we still don't have. I'm just continuing to assume more and more that we're just copying Lost in Space with the Jupiter 1, Jupiter 2 scenario. Not the Netflix Lost in Space. I think that had a different dynamic for that. But like, I mean, also, like, there's something really confusing about, like, so much of this game is about the startup procedure, and like, we've done very little to touch on what it is, or like why there isn't like a concrete plan to take off after 50 years. Like, we still clearly have some intention of taking off from this submerged alien planet. And for 50 years, like, no one thought about it. So we're having like a science fair to figure out how we're getting off this planet. It's just ridiculous. Like, I don't know how to take that. But like that's tricky, right, Jakey? Because like, yeah, on some level, that's like a more like polite and realistic crystallization of sort of what I was jokingly saying. But like, trying to recommend this game to someone based solely on visuals is hard because it is like a video game and the pacing sucks. So even if you're just sort of like, oh, it's kind of cool to look around the ship, but like the alien culture is where it's at, like you gotta play like 8 hours of the game or something. It's ridiculous. Yeah, like, I keep wondering if it's meant to be, I don't know, like, strictly satire, but, like, some kind of commentary. And, like, that's why part of me still has some kind of hope that, like, even if it doesn't, if we don't stick the landing on what the commentary is, that, like, it will at least be apparent what the attempt was by the end. I don't know. Yeah, I'm aware of how like Wizard of Oz was like a commentary on like capitalism and things, yeah. I don't know if I remember all the details, but I've read a little bit about that. Harold Halibut. It's a weird game. I think we'll call it there for tonight. We'll be back with Corn tomorrow. I don't know, maybe we're getting close to the end of the game. It feels like we got a lot done over the last 2 weeks, like a lot more so than the previous weeks. It's another game where I feel like I'm gonna be interested to see where it ends up, and I'm not entirely sure I'm gonna like it. I definitely feel like I want to have had the experience of completing Quern. Like, Quern feels like it contributes something to my vocabulary of, like, a puzzle gamer, even though it constantly makes me mad for many, many reasons. Yeah, we'll be back with that tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Pacific. Next Friday, I will not be streaming. Next Saturday, I think I'm going to try to stream, but that's not guaranteed. I have my concert next Friday, and we got to drive back on next Saturday. I should be home in time to stream. I don't know if I'll have time to like set everything up and like be a functional person after all the craziness of travel and whatever. But yeah, so of course, as always, we must conclude. Somewhere on the couch behind me, I have hidden some number of Squirtles. If you're able to indicate where those Squirtles are found and locate them yourselves, it will be an omen of good luck for you in the coming days. So while you consider where I may have hidden some secret Squirtles, I'm going to have some more of this 100% juice apple. I will say this. I really appreciate you all being here and engaging in like a really sincere conversation about this game, because it would be really easy to just like totally dump on it and just say it's boring or just tune out or whatever. But like, I think it's really cool to be able to like share this and like talk about it and consider these possibilities and just try to understand it. Like, to me, like, I think that's something that's really cool about streaming, and it's only possible because both of us are here. So I really appreciate you. I'm gonna take off these headphones. Also, my shoulder is still killing me, which sucks because I can't even take more medicine for like another hour or something. Ugh. Yeah. Any guesses? I know it's been kind of a chill stream, and also I think a couple of our regulars are preoccupied with that wedding happening on the East Coast. Behind Sandshrew? Sandshrew is popular guest. Let's go take a look at Sandshrew. So this is Sandshrew. Obviously, is a Pokemon from Generation 1. Sandshrew has always been among my favorite Pokemon, but I don't talk about it much because A, competitively he's not like a super strong Pokemon or anything, and B, they like don't make like a lot of Sandshrew things. He's not like a very popular Pokemon. But last weekend we went to see a movie to celebrate my mom's birthday, and afterwards she really wanted to see the place that I had indicated had a really big Squirtle, and we went there and they had an even bigger selection of Pokemon inside. It was really cool, and she got this Sandshrew for me because my mom is very good. He's very cute. I like him a lot. He has brought me a lot of joy. I'll show you what's hiding back there. Let's see if everything falls over. Yes? No? Yes? Hey. About 50%. He was standing on top of coughing because I couldn't stop thinking about that place and its incredible selection of Pokemon. And so I went back in the middle of the week and got another one. Coughing is also one of my favorite Generation 1 Pokemon. They don't make a lot of Coughings, but they had one there, and his goofy face makes me so happy. There's a prefecture in Japan that has Sandshrew as a mascot. That's so cool. I didn't know that at all. I love this guy. He's so dopey. Coughing just always looks like he's just like head empty, heart full. We got a couple. We got some Squirtles out here. I'll just point out that behind our watermelon octopus is a Squirtle, just for the sake of showing one off. Yeah. I love this guy. Fun fact, Coughing is more expensive than most of the Pokemon plush they have here because he's a big, he's so big by comparison. He's just a big, full guy. The rumor is that Coughing is poisoning himself. I could see that being the case. I always thought it was so funny that they just, like, he has, just to belabor the point that he's a poison Pokemon, he, like, evolved to have a skull and crossbones on him. Which I think is cool because it makes him kind of like a piratey Pokemon, but also it's just really funny because that symbol, like, evolved from human culture to designate something that was dangerous. And he just somehow, as like a living thing, just has that. It's very strange. Anyway, thanks for watching Harold Halibut. We'll be back with this in probably 2 weeks. I don't know, maybe we could talk about whether we bring it back next. I mean, like, if we actually finish Quern tomorrow, maybe next week we'll aim to do Harold Halibut on Saturday or something weird, but we'll figure that out as we get there. Again, thank you for being here. Thanks for being you. Hope to see you again soon. We'll be back tomorrow with Quern. Next week, maybe something on Saturday. Not totally sure. In the meantime, enjoy your evening, enjoy your time of day. Until I see you, take care of yourselves and remember that you are awesome.